Dobish has been almost perfect so far as the 23-year-old now gets set to make his third career start. The Bell Center was rocking on Monday, starting with that thunderous hit from Kaiden Guhle, capped off by Nick Suzuki's OT winner. Tonight, the Habs face another big test against the top team in the East. Friday night in the American capital, a country that has no shortage of big superstars, including Cole Caulfield, who is red hot with goals in his last 4, not to be outdone. Lane Hudson, your NHL scoring leader among rookies. But all those stats pale in comparison to this man. Just 22 goals back of the great one. Tonight, Alex Ovechkin looked to take another step towards history. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Habs on TSN. Mark Rowe alongside Marty Biron. We've all heard the Ferris Bueller line. Life comes at you pretty fast, and if you don't stop and look around, you might miss it. And that really applies to the Montreal Canadiens. Back on December 17th, they were dead last in the conference, and thanks to this stretch, which has seen them win 8 of their last 10 games, not only are they in the thick of things, after that win over the Canucks on Monday, they were in a playoff spot. And this stretch has also seen them win games against Vegas, Tampa, Colorado, and Florida. Now, after a few days off, they're now 3 points back of that final wildcard spot with a couple games in hand. And this should really be a fascinating run towards who gets those final playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. But with more on tonight's game in Washington, let's welcome in the guys who will call it, Brad Mudryk and Frankie Corrado.
Mark, what a matchup on this Friday night. You have the Washington Capitals first in the Eastern Conference. And how about the Montreal Canadiens, Frankie? They've won 8 of their last 10 games. Marty St. Louis always talks about connected hockey. Well, right now, how about resilient hockey for this hockey club?
And I would even add composed hockey, because you take a look at some of the games that they've played recently. They're down against some good teams, and some good teams that have found ways to score goals quickly in games back-to-back. And in the past, we have seen moments where the Montreal Canadiens weren't able to handle that. But you go back to Monday night against the Vancouver Canucks. They scored 2 quick goals in the second period, and it didn't feel like Montreal lost any momentum in that game. They just chipped away, and they knew that their process is right. They've been reaffirmed in what they're doing. They're seeing the results. They're seeing the success. So it doesn't feel like it's just one play that knocks them out of the game. They continue to go back to it, and they're having a lot of success because of it. They're a very composed group as well as a resilient group.
Oh, by the way, this is the house that Ovi built. He's 23 goals from breaking Gretzky's all-time record and 1 goal away from his 20th 20-goal season in the NHL.
Thanks, guys. David Savard and Patrik Laine both didn't make the trip to Washington. While they have been practicing, they will now miss a 4th straight game. And yes, Jakub Dobish, after we went weeks for Samuel Montembeault, we just had to assume he was making those starts. Suddenly, the Canadiens have faith in their rookie goaltender. Do you like the fact that they're giving him this start against the top team in the Eastern Conference?
Just like they did when they gave him Florida after the Christmas break, right? And when you mentioned Ferris Bueller at the start of the broadcast, I thought you were saying Bueller, like taking attendance, like Dobish, there you go. Like, he has been playing so good. And you look at the way that he's been playing. 25 saves on 26 shots from the slot in the 2 games against Florida and Colorado. And I love that he uses his body to trap the puck. When I was a young goalie, and Francois and Benoit Allaire were saying 95% of the goalie equipment is made to give out rebounds. So use your body whenever you can. Dobish right now has a 41% no rebound percentage. Hellebuck's at 36. Think of that, like he's 5% more. And obviously the defense helps a lot. Alexandre Carrier, as we said, like, he has been so good. And what I love is that now you have a top 6 with Kaiden Guhle that can support you not just offensively, but defensively. They can play a ton of minutes, although Lane Hudson is playing a ton of minutes too. So I look at the back 6, the back 4 really, and they're supporting each other, and it works. And you're going to have to do that against Alex Ovechkin, who has been playing the right side with Strome and Protas, and then he went back to the left, back to the right again. He's everywhere on the ice. So you can't think he's a right winger or left winger. You have to know when 8 is on the ice, you have to have your head on a swivel, and he likes to hang like in the weeds, and then he comes in all of a sudden, and he just lets that one-timer go.
He's ever on the ice except the power play. We know where he is on the ice in the power play.
Yeah, but even that, he still gets his goals.
The Canadiens have lost 3 straight to the Capitals, going back to last season. A streak they look to snap tonight. Puck drop coming up after the break.
Molson Canadiens Hockey on TSN is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it.
That final game of the season to earn a playoff spot. With the call from Washington, here's Brian Mudryk and Frankie Corrado.
Mark, a great scene setter on this Friday night. Welcome to Washington, D.C. Welcome inside Capital One Arena. Third and final meeting this season between Washington and Montreal. And all eyes on Alex Ovechkin for a number of reasons. But Frankie, Montreal's got to watch him close. He's got 39 goals in 59 career games versus the Habs.
You always have to watch Alex Ovechkin, and he's almost superhuman at this point because he has a fracture in his leg. He barely misses a month. He comes back. He's had 4 goals in his 7 games since he's returned, and he is on the verge of making history at some point sooner rather than later.
He will turn 40 years young in September, the 9-time Rocket Richard Trophy winner. And right now the Capitals on a heater. Top team in the Eastern Conference.
I just got to say something about Alex Ovechkin. Like, at 39 years old, to have a fracture and miss 4 weeks of action, that is not normal. Like, as you get older, you get into your 30s, you miss more time. You're not an 18-year-old anymore, but he is very impressive and always a gamer.
Speaking of gamers, Brendan Gallagher on the forecheck early for Montreal. Picked up by Dylan Strome for Ovechkin. Strome back to Ovechkin. He'll barrel in, lost a edge, and Montreal controls the puck. Here's Brendan Gallagher at center. Little chip and chase as he goes around Chychrun. Hits Van Riemsdyk. Gallagher, good work, steals the puck, centering feed. Caulfield cutting in as Cole Caulfield goals in 4 consecutive games, and Caulfield always a player to watch on Montreal's side.
It was an early change for Josh Anderson as he lost an edge. He went off the ice. Caulfield was able to jump into the play undetected because no one would have expected Anderson to change at that point.
Caulfield 7 goals in 10 career games versus Washington. Here's McMichael. He'll stop in the corner. McMichael up top. Sandin walks in, shoots, and Dobish fought that off with Pierre-Luc Dubois tracking through the crease. Dubois 2 goals versus the Canucks on Wednesday as they won 2-1. He got the OT winner. Slafkovsky, little dish. That was picked off, though. Tom Wilson the other way. Wilson, drop pass. Sandin slings it in front. The drop off. And it was Carlson cutting into the play. He missed the net with a backhand.
That's something we're going to see a lot of with Washington. Defensemen love to get up in the rush, and there you have Sandin and Carlson both involved in that play.
Here's Suzuki spinning out the wall. Quick shot and stopped as Newhook right on. And Charlie Lindgren answering the test there.
Chances for Montreal early as first it's
Washington with a chance off the rush. Both defensemen getting up in the play, and here it's Alex Newhook who's going to find himself in the middle of the ice as Montreal just dumps this puck in, and then it's a forecheck. Nick Suzuki does a great job retrieving this puck. Nice play to get it off the wall, and Alex Newhook with a good look on Charlie Lindgren.
Nick Suzuki on a 4-game point streak, 6 points in those 4 games, and he had the OT winner versus Vancouver back on Monday, so Montreal well rested. Kirby Dach cutting in, lost the puck. Both these teams coming off OT wins against Vancouver. Washington on Wednesday and Montreal back on Monday. Mangiapane, big check from Pezzetta, who remains in the lineup for Montreal. Firavari, wrist shot, he missed wide. Picked up in the corner by Brandon Duhaime, back to the line. That shot down in front, providing the screen. And the hand goes up. Our first penalty coming up, it goes against Montreal, so the Capitals to the power play as Pezzetta goes to the box.
And Michael Pezzetta trying to have a presence as he's now been thrust into the lineup in place of Patrick Laine playing on that second line, and he wants to be physical, wants to be aggressive, but here's going to be a little too aggressive as he gets his stick right into the legs of Brandon Duhaime. Duhaime goes down, and an early power play opportunity for the Washington Capitals as they have 5 power play goals in their last 5 games, and we're going to see a full 2 minutes of Alex Ovechkin on this power play.
Ovechkin, 317 career power play goals. Nobody has more. And he plays, as you mentioned, every second of the power play for Washington. There's Carrier. Good backhand flip down the ice as Josh Anderson tracks in. Carlson spins away from him. As John Carlson hit the 700-point club earlier this week. 31st NHL defenseman is 700 points. Here's Chychrun. He'll chip and chase in deep. Chychrun in the corner. Ovechkin jams at the puck. Ovechkin tried to free it. It hit Dvorak and comes to center. Tom Wilson, he'll drop it off for Carlson. Carlson to Ovechkin, he'll sling it in. Dobish couldn't stop it. There's Jake Evans spinning, gave it away though, Chychrun. Chychrun, space in, shoot, score! Jacob Chychrun rips it by Dobish. Power play goal, and the Capitals have a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's the 12th goal of the season for Jacob Chychrun as he has been hot, the unrestricted free agent defenseman. He's going to get this power play goal, and you can see that he's looking to maybe get this puck to Alex Ovechkin, but he has so much time and space, he ends up taking this shot, and that's going to be the right play for him. It starts with a dump in by Ovechkin, and Jake Evans has this puck. He tries to get it out through the middle of the ice, but Chychrun's there, he reads it, and walks right downhill, head up the whole way. No screen on Dobish, just beats him clean, and the great season for Jacob Chychrun continues as he has his 12th goal of the season, had 14 all of last year with the Ottawa Senators.
Career high for Chychrun was 18 goals back in 2020-21 with the Coyotes, and yeah, he's been a nice addition here for Washington. A number of players, including him, solidifying this team, and a big reason why they are leading the Eastern Conference. Foot race on down the ice, and this guy can fly. Ethan Frank, his NHL debut for Frank. He's a speedster, great success in the American Hockey League and his first taste of the NHL tonight. His skates are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. No one was faster than him in the AHL All-Star game a couple years ago in Laval, as he can really scoot. 2 Calder Cup wins with Hershey and a chance with a big club here tonight.
And not just a fast skater, he's got a great shot as well. 2 years ago in the American Hockey League, 30 goals, last season 29, and already 20 this year with the Hershey Bears. So combine the skating with a really nice shot, and you get a player who's very excited to make his NHL debut.
Montreal trying for a response as that deflected high over Lindgren, as Arber Xhekaj tried that shot on net. Puck bouncing, Struble alertly plays that to center. Slafkovsky swung at the puck. Dowd had it at his own line, he lost it. So 1-0 Washington as Duhaime cutting in. Brandon Duhaime lost the puck, and another penalty coming up to Montreal. So a tough start for Montreal this Friday night on the road, and the power play back to work, hooking the call. It'll be Struble to the box, and yeah, Marty St. Louis not happy with the start.
47, hooking.
Now Montreal's D get a little too spread apart here through the middle of the ice, and Jayden Struble is going to end up taking a hooking penalty. Jack Eye's a little to the outside. Struble gets beat by this pass, and as he goes to pivot, just gets his hands right into the midsection of Duhaime. It's a call that has to get made, and now Washington back for another power play, already 1-for-1 in this game.
Strome to take the draw. And the two defensemen out there together, Chychrun, Karlsson, this top power play unit for Washington. Here's Strome digging it free. Centers, nobody home. So now Washington, a power play goal in 8 of the last 10 games overall. It's really been clicking as they come in 11th ranked power play in the National Hockey League. Karlsson speed over the blue line, flips to the right side. Wilson using the boards up for Chychrun. Chychrun, Ovechkin one-timer and it missed by a few feet. Wilson got the touch, but tipped it wide. Mike Matheson in his own zone, in the corner. Had the puck, tries again. Chychrun holds it in far point. Chychrun gets it back from Wilson. He'll play it down low. Strome up for Chychrun. Karlsson to Chychrun. Jacob Chychrun. Wilson's in front. Strome. Wilson, what a stop, Dobish. Right pad save. Oh, a big stop, Dobish early.
Well, Carrier had to respect the fact that that pass could go to Alex Ovechkin, so he cheated a little high in the slot area, but that opened up the backdoor play, and Dobish gets right across. Make sure that puck doesn't go in.
2-0 in his young career, Jakub Dobish, and that's a big stop to keep it 1-0. Here's Ovechkin. He'll slam it in. Dobish kind of bounced on him. McMichael wanted to get it to Strome. That was interrupted, and Montreal controls. Arbor Jackeye tried to set up Anderson streaking in, and the Capitals will control. John Karlsson starts the play. Move back for Andre Mangiapane. He'll lay it back, and it's wristed in by Rasmus Sandin. Puck behind the net. Mangiapane digs it free. Round the wall. Sandin under some pressure. And it's set up ice, and here's a breakaway. Yoel Armia in, shoots, what a stop, Lindgren. What a chance, Yoel Armia and Lindgren, his best save early in the game. Jake Evans has 3 shorthanded goals. Armia has 1, and that would have been a big boost for Montreal here in the first period. They'll come again. Newhook in, shoots, and that was off Sandin high into the corner and stays in play. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. That drive that hit Roy in front. Back to work is Matt Roy. Another one of those pickups for Washington. Flip to space. In comes Radish. Lone man in, though his teammates changing as Radish got spun around in the corner.
We saw the goal from Chychrun. There's Matt Roy making a play, and those are 2 big reasons why they've been able to cut back the minutes of John Karlsson, who led the NHL last year in time on ice. They needed to find a way to get his ice time a little lower so they could keep things manageable for him.
This year, 4th in scoring in the NHL, points from defensemen. Last year, they were 30th. Has Hudson right on. Bouncing puck high in the slot. Dug free towards the net, right to Van Riemsdyk. He'll knock it down and control the puck up to the right side. Protas for Van Riemsdyk. Up for Veravari. Veravari, they'll work it around the wall. Lars Eller, another new pickup. Welcome back, Lars Eller, to Washington. As the trade makes him a Capital once again, he had the cup-clinching goal for Washington. Eller goes to work below the goal line. Eller spins away, still with it. Lars Eller waiting right in front. It hit Hudson, and Lane Hudson will move that out of harm's way.
Well, Lars Eller looks really comfortable here in Washington, doesn't he? This is where he played the best hockey of his career. He won a Stanley Cup, and to be back with this group that hasn't really fallen off and is going to have serious Stanley Cup aspirations, it makes sense to bring in a guy like Lars Eller. Dependable, and you know what you're going to get from him.
A 3rd and a 5th round pick as he comes back to Washington. First player from Denmark to play over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League and counting. Was a good player for Montreal, former Montreal Canadian as well. Had 154 points for the Canadiens over 6 seasons. Puck in the corner, there goes Struble. Good pace to this first period, nearly 9 minutes in. 1-0 Washington on a power play goal from Chychrun. Here's Gallagher, up the left wing, he'll stop. Gallagher plays it in deep, Chychrun picks it up for Washington. Jacob Chychrun stops and reloads in his own zone. He'll send it up to the line. There's Tom Wilson. Wilson. He'll protect the puck. In comes Josh Anderson. Pierre-Luc Dubois barrels in as well, and Lane Hudson for Gallagher. Gallagher able to pop it free. Hudson's on the move. Lane Hudson will work it in. Leading all rookies in scoring, Lane Hudson coming into tonight with 30 points. Anderson, good job, frees the puck, works it up top. Hudson waiting, tried to pass it off, and Tom Wilson was there, and he'll chip that to center. It's amazing. Hudson spins and works it up quickly for Armia. The next rookie defenseman closest him in points, 6 points. Nolan Allen in Chicago. It speaks to what he's been doing.
It's a big difference. And then when you look at it, the scope of the other rookies, Celebrini, Michkov, he's leading them in ice time by such a big discrepancy. Really puts it into perspective what he's doing as a rookie in a very tough position as a defenseman.
He has looked very comfortable. A young star shining in Montreal. Ovechkin at center ice, works it in deep. Dobish got a piece of it. Protas looking for the puck. John Carlson far wall, and that's going to pop into the Habs bench. Good start in the power play for Washington as Jacob Chychrun has his 12th of the power play. It's 1-0. These key parts of the game are presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Well, for the Montreal Canadiens, you have to establish your forecheck. This is a great offensive team in the Washington Capitals. The best recipe for success, force them to play in their own zone. And for the Capitals, find that second wave. They have a lot of defensemen that are willing to jump into the rush, and when they do, they can make things happen. We've already seen snippets of that so far in the first 10 minutes of this first period. They'll have to continue with that second wave.
Spencer Carberry deserves so much credit. Last year, I mean, the numbers, they were 28th in goals per game. This year, second. Off the draw, Carlson. Big block, Pezzetta. All of their numbers, if you look deep, are much improved for Washington. They had a terrible goal differential last year and still crawled into the playoffs. Here's Lars Eller through center ice. Chychrun over the blue line. Eller, he'll swat it in, but he swats it off the netting and out of play.
The other thing about the Washington Capitals this year compared to last year, because they're scoring more, they can win games that they would lose last year. So now they have 16 games where they've come from behind and won. They had 16 all of last year. You know, we're not even halfway through January yet, so it's a different looking group. Adding the veteran guys like a Mangiapane, like a Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's playing great, and the two guys on the back end, Roy and Chychrun, has really changed the complexion of this team, and they're more versatile as a group.
And the backup goalie tonight, Logan Thompson. What an addition as well. He is off to a wonderful start as well with this organization. Here's Juraj Slafkovsky for Caulfield. Wanted Suzuki. Back to Caulfield. Little bit of space. Cole Caulfield chips it towards the slot area, but Chychrun plays it away. Connor McMichael. He'll chip it into Montreal territory. Picked up by Juraj Slafkovsky. He'll send that cross ice. Chychrun able to play that away from Caden Gooley. Gooley had a massive impact back on Monday. The huge body check. He scored a goal. And Nick Suzuki, the OT winner as well. What a performance from Montreal, as they've been cooking lately as well.
It's been a quieter year for Caden Gooley, but in a really good way. Like, it just hasn't been high event for him. But then you see a game like Monday against Vancouver where he has the big hit, then Caulfield scores the goal. A good reminder of what he can do.
Wrist shot, Dobish found it and fought it off. Sandin picks it up. Rasmus Sandin in the corner. Nicked out, the backhand in. Mangiapane fighting for space with Matheson. In comes Gallagher. Sandin wheeling around, wrist shot, loose, puck in front, and a good screen again. Brandon Duhaime, the veteran, 4 goals on the season, the screen in front, but Dobish a good stop. Gallagher fighting up that left side. There's Josh Anderson for Lane Hudson. He'll leave in the corner. Picked up by Dvorak and high over Hudson, couldn't hold the zone. Mike Matheson from his own blue line. He'll start it up ice. Matheson curls around, resets and works it for Newhook. Newhook slides the puck in deep, centering feed, and a good job as Dvorak centered, but it was cleaned up. Newhook battling for the puck again. Alex Newhook steals the puck from Protas, walks it up high, works it across. Wrist shot. Doc there trying to swat it down, and he will. Watched by Van Riemsdyk. Kirby Doc back to work in the corner. Played below the goal line. Protas, little pop pass, gets it to Dylan Strome. Strome through center. Over the blue line, Strome. And a nice defensive play. Gooley all the way down the ice. As you know, Carrier and Gooley, nice little combination. You saw Carrier get back and get it there for Caden Gooley to clear.
Carrier and Gooley have worked well, and you go back to Monday night, here's Caden Gooley. Big hit on Laird Karamaki to start things off, and then he's going to score a goal very similar to the goal that goes in Tampa Bay, where Christian Dvorak had it go off him, but they have worked so well together, and it's at the blue lines I find specifically. Offensively, they support each other really well. Defensively, they do a nice job of denying entries or at least forcing dump-ins, and those two guys look like they've been playing together for a long time, and it hasn't been that long.
And allowing Gooley to go back to his left side, right? You get Carrier the right shot. Showing a lot of confidence together. Suzuki trying to chip it past the blue line. Carlson in, wrist shot, he missed wide. Walked right in and missed. Wilson, good job to hold it in. Protas, centering feed. And that was knocked away nicely by the captain, Suzuki. Here's Kirby Doc with Suzuki. Nick Suzuki in, and he couldn't get the shot away. Ovechkin the other way. Protas, he'll delay and shoot it in. Protas will smash his career highs. He's already done so this year. He is having a great season on the top line with Washington. Here's Armia. Lost it on that right side. Chychrun poked it away. Protas up the ice. Frank will backhand it in. Picked up by Arbor Xhekaj.
Brian, you talk about Protas, 6'6", 225 pounds, and they needed him to become a better skater over the summer. He's done that, and that's unlocked some offense in his game.
Already 18 goals, had 6 last year. He will annihilate his career highs. Here's Evans. Pass across, puck in front of the net, and Heineman was tied up, couldn't get the shot away. This is the line that has been outstanding for the last month for Marty St. Louis. Evans, Heineman, and Armia. We talked to Marty St. Louis this morning, and he said they've been doing the same thing, but getting rewarded. They work hard. Heineman uses his feet. It's a big reason why he's third in goals for rookies this year. He's got 10. And this line, I mean, they're not a fourth line. Spencer Carberry talked about it. They've been really tough for teams to play against.
You could look at it two ways. They're either not a fourth line or the best fourth line in the NHL right now. And Emil Heineman has very quietly gone about his business. And when you look at his ice time after every game, you think, okay, there's not a ton of ice time there, but the impact that he makes as he's now in third place when it comes to rookie goals in the NHL, he makes the most of his opportunities and fits in great with Evans and Armia.
He leads, Frankie, Montreal in hits this season. And you can't lead quietly in hits because and that's a big part of his game. He's physical, he goes into those areas and he gets the puck out, and that's what makes him dangerous. This Evans, he'll bring it in. Jake Evans. Up top, Lane Hudson, a wobbling shot. Slafkovsky was trying to get that screen in front. Picked up by Matheson. And Slafkovsky's got it back on side, and he will as Sandin has the puck. Roy up to center, off his skate, all the way to Dobish. Matheson chips it into the corner. Cole Caulfield starts to play up for Suzuki. Here's Nick Suzuki over the blue line. Suzuki in, shoots up high, and Lindgren fought it off as Suzuki has 3 goals in 4 career games versus Charlie Lindgren. The former Hab, though, makes the stop, and his team leads 1-0. Frankie, we talked to Marty St. Louis about Ovechkin earlier today, and he said what impresses him the most about Ovi, all the goals and another chance for its 20th 20-goal season. At 39 years of age, he still has that spirit. He loves the game. He loves coming to the rink. And he also said, Ovi can outscore you, but if you want to play dirty, he'll play dirty. You want a competitive hitting game, he'll play that game as well. And it's made him one of the most exciting players to watch over a long time.
I think that's the one area where he doesn't get enough credit from people who watch the game. If you've played against him, you know that when he's that first guy in on the forecheck when he wants to, he will run you over. But sometimes you think about him as the in-and-out guy just finishing with the shot. He can be pretty dangerous as a forechecker as well, and has been for a long time.
He celebrates every goal like it's his first, and he's got a few of them in his career. 872 to be exact. 23 shy of breaking Gretzky's record. Fun to watch every night. Here's Faravari. He'll work it in deep. Picked up by Duhaime. Duhaime trying to shake off his check. Duhaime reaching for the puck, comes to Kirby Dach. Available the blue line and picked up by Newhook. Newhook in with Caulfield. Caulfield chips it in for Newhook. He takes the body check from Faravari, and then in comes Kirby Dach. Dach centering feed off the stick of Van Riemsdyk to the far wall. Racing in is Struble. Struble into the corner. There's Nick Dowd. And he'll chip it into the near corner. Arbor Xhekaj reaching for it. And it comes all the way to center. Under 4 minutes to go, first period. Shots 5-4 in favor of Washington. A 1-0 advantage. The third and final meeting. Washington took the first one in this building 6-3 and then beat Montreal to Bell Center December 7th 4-2. Jacob Chychrun. Checked by Anderson. Ovechkin at the line. Gave it away to Dvorak. Montreal sends it to center. Little tip from Gallagher. In comes Anderson. Josh Anderson in the corner. John Carlson able to play it away. Up for Protas. Ovechkin collided behind the play with Matheson as the 2-8s got all tangled up.
And they both didn't see each other in the neutral zone.
Wrist shot, just missing Dobish. Gallagher couldn't clear. Strome, good job to keep it alive. Ovechkin, Strome kicks it to his stick. Weak shot handled. Strome still with it. Centering feed, and all the way to the far point. Nobody there, and Dobish had to be alert and was on that sequence.
Gallagher just double clutched on that puck because he saw Josh Anderson streaking through the middle of the ice, but as he took that hesitation, he got stripped, and that led to a chance for Washington at the net. Good job being attentive by Jakub Dobish.
Matheson starts the play. That's off the skate of Armia as Yoel Armia comes in. 99 career goals in the NHL, and what a look he had on that breakaway, shorthanded earlier in this period. Heineman in the corner. Working with Gooley. Capitals control. Eller gets it back. Lars Eller delays, shoots, and he slung it just wide. Matt Roy picks it up. Across for Sandin. Sandin throws it in deep again. Bouncing behind the net. Eller working for the puck. Eller in there with Frank. Montreal skates it up ice. Pass across for Gooley. Gooley had it in his skates, worked it in deep. In comes Armia, and it's Roy for Eller. Chip to center. Montreal changing. Got to be careful of their numbers, and they are, and they have the puck. 1:45 to go. Lane Hudson over the line, takes a look, and he'll chip it in. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Tom Wilson up the left wing, cutting in. Wilson sends it across. Good stick. Suzuki got back and broke that up. Cole Caulfield heading the other way. Caulfield lost it in his skates, and it's Dubois the other way. Puck at the line. Slafkovsky had it. It was poked away by McMichael. Then Matheson taken down by Dubois. Slafkovsky spurring around in the corner. And the penalty coming up as the Montreal Canadiens on a Friday night will try and respond.
What a difference a year makes for Pierre-Luc Dubois. You could say he's more engaged and he's working more than he ever has this year, but here he's a little too over-aggressive as he gets his stick into the hands of Mike Matheson 200 feet away from his own net. Matheson goes down, and the Montreal Canadiens get their first power play look of the game as they've done a good job after killing that penalty to get their game going at 5-on-5. Now the door's been opened a little bit thanks to the Pierre-Luc Dubois hooking call.
And that trade, you know what? It's a trade great for both teams. Kemper in LA, nice numbers. The Kings are doing really well. And Pierre-Luc Dubois, man, he's fit in really nicely here in Washington.
He looks sharp. He looks engaged. He's third on the team in points. He had a big game on Wednesday versus Vancouver with 2 goals, and it's been a hot stretch for him. He's been everything that they hoped he would have been coming over from LA.
That was a bit of a sleepy game to the win versus the Canucks for Washington, and Dubois difference maker as Montreal power play time. Caulfield, wrist shot, and that left pad kicked enough by Lindgren. He got it out in time. Suzuki, final minute. Hudson, wrist shot, missed glove side. Montreal down by 1. Trying to get the equalizer, Slafkovsky. Round the boards, picked up by Suzuki. Back pass for Hudson. Lane Hudson. Suzuki lost the puck, reaching for it, and it's chipped to center by Duhaime. Suzuki trying to bring it in quick. Here's Hudson over the line. Hudson, you know, he collided with Slafkovsky, still maneuvering. Lane Hudson across, has Caulfield up for Suzuki. Caulfield, one-time drive, and Lindgren was ready. Again, no Patrick Laine. He's back in Montreal, skating though. Caulfield over the line again. Cole Caulfield slings it, tried to beat him short side, but Lindgren was ready. And then Caulfield return pass, backhand feed, Lane Hudson, one-timer in the crease. Slafkovsky, did he bang it in? The horn sounds and the period. It was sitting in the crease. Hudson got it there, and Lindgren appears to keep it out.
There was hardly any time on the clock, so Lane Hudson had no choice. He had to shoot this puck. He couldn't look for a pass. And Charlie Lindgren, desperation saves, but the puck was sitting there as the Canadians converged onto the net. There's the one-timer by Hudson. Slafkovsky's banging away at it. Doc can't find it. And there it is under Lindgren. But the horn had gone as there was just about a second left as that puck is sitting there in the blue paint. Trevor Van Riemsdyk takes it out of harm's way, and the Montreal Canadiens go into the locker room down one after a period where they got their penalty kill and they got their game going a little more than how they had it going in the first 5 minutes of that period. Wasn't a great start, but you have a chance here down one.
Looked like the mini scorpion there for Lindgren just keeps it out at the horn. Capitals lead 1-0 in a power play goal from Jacob Chychrun. Also, Canadiens hockey on CSN Intermission is next with Mark Rowe and Marty Biron.
The Habs region. Back alongside with Martin Biron for the first intermission. One of the things we've seen from the Canadiens over this recent stretch is winning tough games on the road against really good teams and overcoming deficits, and they'll have to do that again tonight in Washington if they want to win. And not exactly the start that they were looking for, taking those 2 penalties, and it's the Capitals' power play that capitalizes to make it 1-0.
Yeah, a tripping penalty, a hooking penalty. Those are stick penalties you want to try to avoid taking, especially against the power play of the Washington Capitals and that offense. And what happens when you're killing a penalty against Washington? Well, you watch Ovechkin. That's called the Ovechkin effect. And look at Carrier, 45. He's thinking, oh, I better watch Ovechkin. That one-timer's wide open. He's actually tickling the rafters with his stick right there. And Jacob Chychrun, who now has 12 goals in the season, only 1 behind Makar and Werenski as the top defenseman scoring in the National Hockey League. They both have 13. He walks down and he says, okay, I'll fake Ovechkin. I'll wait. And he takes that shot from there. It's really hard for Dobeš to be able to get a good gauge. He's got to protect Ovechkin. But, you know, if it was anybody else but Ovechkin, Carrier probably stays in the middle, blocks that shot, gets in the lane. But it's Ovechkin. He cheats a little. And then it's 1-0.
And the conversation around Lane Hudson is usually centered around the points that he's putting up. But you want to isolate some D-zone coverage from the young Habs blue liner that really helped them get out of a jam.
Yeah, he's quick, right? He's a good skater. So what happens is you have to find the opportunity to put pressure. You don't want to chase all over the place, you know, and not find that right moment. So the Canadians were running around a little bit in their zone here. There's a shot on net. There's actually a player for Washington left alone in front of Dobeš. But you see here, that's when the door's open. There's a loose puck on the wall. Hudson knows he can get to that 50-50 puck, creates a turnover, and then you're in the offensive zone and you're spending 20, 30 seconds in the offensive zone. That's the difference. You don't want to chase if they have possession and they can see you come in, but as soon as there's a loose puck and you can get going, then everybody can read off of that. That's so much easier than always chasing all over the place. I think there's been a few adjustments from Marty St. Louis and trying to play better defensively, and that's one of them. When you see the opportunity, you go.
And the penalty kill ended better than it started. In fact, Yoel Armia had the best chance of both teams on that second Capitals power play.
Yeah, Armia, who had 17 goals last year, you know, he's at 7 now, and he's on pace for a career year in points, and we know that, you know, within 2 months, the trade deadline, there's going to be a lot of people calling about Yoel Armia, but this, again, a great play by Evans. And I'm a little surprised that Armia took that shot from above the ash marks right here. This was only 15 seconds into his shift. Like, he wasn't 40, 45 seconds into the shift. I wish he would have come in and made some kind of move. It's a great opportunity. You get those opportunities because you work hard and you work smart. But when you get in there, don't just take a shot from 20 feet out. Like, get in, make a move. Charlie Lindgren was like, to the glove side too. Like, I'll just, whoop, a little pad save and nothing to worry about.
And now an opportunity at the beginning of the period for the Canadians on the power play as the Capitals lead 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Coming up, a lot of excitement around the Canadians with their recent play. So what will Kent Hughes do ahead of the trade deadline? We'll hear from him and get Marty's comments on that.
playoff spot. Absolutely.
With wins in 8 of their last 10 games, the Montreal Canadiens have suddenly turned their season around, and it has raised the question, what will the organization do the rest of the way, and how will they approach the upcoming trade deadline? GM Kent Hughes met with the media and discussed the current situation of his team.
There's certain things that they have to experience, and Nick Suzuki's our captain. He experienced it once in his career to date, right, a playoff run. So we want this group and this young group of players to be under the pressure of learning to win when it counts. Whether ultimately they succeeded or not, it's the experience that you go through. Like if we look at Tampa, before they won their 3, they had several playoff disappointments along the way, and you learn from it. You know, Toronto's gone through that. Maybe they're going to learn from it. We'll see as time comes. So that was the most important thing about being in the mix, was more, at least from my vantage point and Jeff's, less to do with what we communicated to the outside world about playoffs and more to do with what we hope our team went through as an experience, as a building block. Whether we can be a playoff team or not, you know, we're in that conversation right now, and let's see how our players respond to it.
So it's interesting. I don't know if fans were expecting Kent Hughes to say, we're going out there, we're going to get a superstar, and we're going for things. It was very big picture talk from your general manager, which is what you would expect. What was your reaction when you heard him speak earlier this week?
Well, he said all the right things, right? We want to be in the mix. That's what we were setting out to do this year. Want to see how the players are going to react to it. But let me tell you, this is overperforming. Like, you are going above expectations the way that you thought, and I thought, the Canadiens were going to go. Think of the Florida Panthers 2 years ago. They made the playoffs by 1 point. They went all the way to the finals, lost, and then they won the cup last year. If you are that close to the playoffs, I say you go for it. I mean, I'm not saying you mortgage the future, but you have assets that you can go out and acquire players, especially forwards. For me, that's the way I look at the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm saying you have a month and a half here to make that decision. But if they continue to play well and are right there by the playoffs, you got to go for it.
But unlike that Panthers team that had established stars and had won a President's Trophy, this Canadiens team is still kind of dipping their toes into competitive games going down the stretch. So what is the smart move for the Canadiens as the big picture is to win another Stanley Cup for this franchise?
Yeah, well, the smart move is, for me, to be a seller, but a smart seller coming up at the deadline. That doesn't mean you're throwing the season away, but you can't pass opportunities to be able to acquire some asset and then turn those assets into pieces. I look at Yoel Armia. I look at Christian Dvorak. To me, that's easy. You can replace those 2 pieces, move on from them, and acquire some assets that you can turn around and acquire a big-time forward, maybe a top 6. Jake Evans, the plan for me would always be sign him long-term. You lost Philip Deneau a few years ago. You don't want to fill that void in the middle of the ice, and with Suzuki and Evans and maybe Kirby Dach, you have that group. And David Savard. Now, that's the question mark. Do I like David Savard? Yes. But as a right-shot defenseman, they are going to pay big price for a guy like David Savard around the NHL. So, you know, does he make your defense better? Yes, but in a third-pair situation, okay. I think you have now Carrier and Goalie and Hudson and Matheson. You don't need David Savard for the push this year. Maybe you get him back next season, but acquire a second-rounder or first-rounder from him this year, that'd be amazing.
And you're deep in that position, especially moving forward, you know, with the future of this team.
Yes.
So that is a position of strength that if a team knocked your socks off with an offer, why not? And you end up being sellers while still being competitive.
And you have all these prospects coming in next year. Ivan Demidov, and you have Ryan Backer and Mailloux, and you have, like, the pieces to be able to say, we're going to fill in the gaps here to be 5 points in at halfway part as opposed to be a few points out. So I think that's the goal. But you can still make moves at the deadline and still get better this year. I believe that, and I think the locker room believes that as well.
All right, so the trade deadline in March, no shortage of topics for the Montreal Canadiens. In the meantime, it's a 1-0 lead for Washington after 1 period of play. We'll get back out to D.C. for the second period when we return. Regional comedy sensation Shoresy. The new season streams January 24th only on Crave. Marty, you played them, right?
Played them. We won 13-10, and I was the goalie of record, giving up all 10, but getting the win.
10. Jeez, what's your save? I don't want to know what your save
Shoresy
percentage
did score, though. But Frankie JJ, I stopped him cold.
And so did Jacob Chychrun, his 12th of the season on the power plays. Our only goal so far is the Capitals lead 1-0. Let's go back to Brian Mudryk and Frankie Corrado with the call of the second period.
Gentlemen, Friday night, Capital One Arena, and starting the second period, some power play time for Montreal as the Washington Capitals, the 6th-ranked penalty kill, up against Montreal 16th ranked power play.
And for Cole Caulfield, the time is now to score a power play goal. Hasn't had one over his last 17 games, but he's still scoring. And I think what he went through last year, where the shooting percentage was so low, he had to find different ways to score goals. And now here he is, 22 goals on the season, a 4-game goal streak, a chance on the power play to get one. But he's come such a long way, and his game is in such a good spot. If he doesn't go through what he went through last year, where it just wasn't going in for him, he might not be as evolved as a player as he is right now.
Caulfield's got 3 goals in 4 career games versus Lindgren, and he likes playing Washington. Overall in his career, Caulfield 7 goals in 10 career games versus the Capitals. So, second period, puck dropped in 53 seconds of power play time here for Montreal, and they control. Here's Lane Hudson for Slafkovsky. Uri Slafkovsky, he'll bring it in. Slafkovsky moving in, pass in front, backhand try, and that was stopped. A good play. And now, as Suzuki had the chance, Lindgren made the stop. He is slow to get up in his crease.
Well, that was Faravari who pushed Suzuki right into Lindgren. And Suzuki wanted nothing to do with running into Charlie Lindgren, didn't pursue that in any way. And Lindgren looks to be a little shaken up, but he's all right. Comes off the heels off a good chance set up by Uri Slafkovsky. Gets to the middle of the ice, little change of gears and then some deception. That brings Suzuki to the front of the net. And it's actually Duhaime, not Faravari. Faravari was the one who checked on Lindgren afterwards. It's Duhaime, the forward, who shoved Suzuki right into Lindgren. And the officials right away said that is not going to be a penalty because it was the Capitals player who pushed Suzuki into their own goaltender. Looks like Lindgren's okay, but a good start to the period on the power play as Uri Slafkovsky gets the zone, sets up the play, and looks like Charlie Lindgren's going to be all right.
Lindgren 10-8-2 on the season, his 21st game of this year's campaign. 3-1 record in 4 career games versus Montreal, his former team. Face off to the right of Lindgren. He looks to be just fine. It'll be Dowd. It'll be Suzuki. Dowd wins it. Carlson plays it behind his net. Faravari racing after it, and he'll slam that down the ice. Dobish will settle it down for Hudson. Leads all rookies in ice time. Comes in with 30 points. Suzuki. He'll drop for Caulfield. Caulfield up for Hudson. Lane Hudson. He'll dish it off. Doc keeps the play moving, up for Hudson. Hudson, Suzuki. Drops it back for Hudson. Lane Hudson. Assessing, Suzuki. High risk shot, he missed, and Dubois out of the box, 5-on-5. And down. The pass hit Dubois in the skates. He'll spin. Tried to set up anybody, but nobody there. Here's Cole Caulfield at center ice. He'll leave it. Hudson walks it in, wrist shot, and a weak one. Pad stopped by Lindgren. Puck at the line. Roy brings it in. Dvorak reaching for it. There's Dubois, had it. He lost it as Hudson took it away. Montreal coming in numbers here. Gallagher waiting right through the legs. Good pass, and Anderson couldn't cash in. He ran out of room. Good speed by Josh Anderson as that play developed for Montreal. Anderson in the corner. He'll protect the puck for Gallagher. Dvorak goes to the net. Gallagher spins away. Up top, Gouli. One-time drive. Traffic in front. And puck in the corner. Gouli back at center. Mike Matheson, he'll rip it in. In comes Dvorak. Dvorak. Lost the puck at the wall. Ovechkin will start the play. Dubois at the end of his shift. He'll dump it in. There's Gouli. First man on the puck. Mike Matheson. Back to Gouli. Racing to pick it up is Van Riemsdyk. Tough angle shot handled by Dobish as he had the angle pinned. Here's Heineman. A little bit of space. He'll drop. Armia winds up in the blast. That one stung Chychrun. They'll try again. Heineman in tight and stopped by Lindgren. Chychrun still slow to get up. What a chance there. And a great setup.
That crossbody one-timer, Heineman gets a lot on it. We know he's a strong guy. He's got that great shot. And when you have that ability, that crossbody shot doesn't feel as hard to pull off. And Charlie Lindgren has been really sharp. There's been a few missed opportunities for the Canadians so far in this game. And Emil Heineman's going to get the latest as he circles his way back to the net. Chychrun took that shot and he was down. And there's the crossbody. And Lindgren, with catching right-handed, is always going to throw shooters off a little bit. Here's Brendan Gallagher looking for Anderson on the back door. That's what I'm talking about. A few chances like that the Canadians just haven't been able to convert on, as the third line has been productive. And looks like Charlie Lindgren is going to be leaving the game, and Logan Thompson, not the backup, just the other goaltender for the Washington Capitals, as they do a true 50-50 split, will be coming into this game.
Thompson's got insane numbers in the time he's played, Frankie. 17-2-2, a .232 goals against. Remember, 17 wins in just 21 games played this season.
And he's won 5 straight coming into this one. And one of the goaltenders that I think a lot of people would have talked about as far as making Team Canada for the Four Nations face-off. Of course, one of those spots belongs to Samuel Montembeault. And here's what might have done it. It's Nick Suzuki who gets pushed into Lindgren at the hands of Brandon Duhaime. Lindgren was down for a little while and slow to get up, tried to stay in the game. Now, this could be a spotter situation because his head was hit, so we'll keep an eye on whether he's able to come back into the game or not. But for the time being, it's Logan Thompson in the net as he gets warmed up right now, and he's been really good for the Washington Capitals, in a situation where both goaltenders catch with their right in Washington. And if you're a Capitals player, you've become accustomed to that. You've become used to that. When you just see these guys for the first time and you're playing against them, that can throw you off a little bit. But it's been lights out for Thompson. 5-0 over his last 5 and a save percentage of .942. And a big reason why the Washington Capitals are having the success that they're having.
Won the Stanley Cup with Vegas. And great numbers. That drive and his first test right off the draw. Carrier from the blue line. Stopped by Logan Thompson. Kirby Dach behind the net. Pezzetta trying to jam it free. Still nothing. You can hear the officials say, move the puck. It's not moving. Finally dug free, and it's worked up top. Carrier threw it towards Dach. He wanted the tip. Arbor Xhekaj tried to hold the zone. He could not. Here comes Washington. Duhaime in. Wrist shot. Dobish. The big goalie, 6'4", and the 23-year-old to stop, and a little this and a little bit of that after the whistle.
Good job by Jakub Dobish squeezing that puck. And you think about the circumstances that he's had to play in, playing in Florida, playing in Colorado. Now you play against the second highest scoring team in the NHL, and here's Duhaime with a chance through the stick of Carrier, who's playing on his offside. And we had a little bit of a stoppage in play, so maybe thought that the Habs were going to try and get their D pairs rolling back together, but it's Carrier and Xhekaj who are on the ice together. Now it's going to be Guhle and Carrier together, and there's a good chance for the Washington Capitals as the Montreal Canadiens look to get their bench organized here.
You know, a cool story with Dobish. When he found out he was getting called up, his family was in from Czechia and Laval. They changed their travel plans to get to Florida to watch him make his NHL debut. And how about a shutout in your first NHL game? Pretty cool stuff. And a 2-0 record as Dvorak will walk it in for Montreal. Round the net. Dvorak tried the wrap job, and it comes to Thompson. He will cover up. And to finish the thought on Dobish, you talk about his start. Shuts out the Cup champs in his NHL debut. Third NHL goalie in history to do that. And you look at career debuts when it comes to Montreal Canadiens in the last 40 years, pretty impressive.
And he got thrown right into the fire. Like Florida, Colorado, and then the thing about the Colorado game, they had just played in Chicago and they had played in Vegas before that. Like, think about the geography of that and what that entails for the group in front of him. So a very resilient start to his NHL career, Jakub Dobeš.
Here's Matheson off the draw, walks it in, wrist shot up high, and he missed. Hudson, backhand dish, back to Matheson. He pumps it again, and Anderson couldn't get the tip as Thompson lost his footing, but the Capitals control the puck. Ovechkin up the right wing, he'll shoot it in. Protas, far corner, try to get it to Strome. Interrupted by Montreal. Here's Lane Hudson through center ice. Hudson over the blue line. Trying to create some space, they'll work it in deep. Dvorak's in front, Gallagher couldn't find him. Gallagher back to work in that corner. Freed up by the Capitals. A little bit of space for Protas, but Ovechkin was in offside. He'll check up, and the Capitals reload. Here's Dylan Strome. Up for Ovechkin. At the blue line, Ovechkin reaching for the puck, and it was swatted away up to Nick Suzuki. He'll hesitate at center ice, and now bring it in with Slafkovsky. Juraj Slafkovsky towards the net. Centering feed Suzuki, and cleaned up by Washington. Protas for Tom Wilson, and that was turned over. John Carlson at center ice, he gave it away. Here's Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky for Caulfield. Caulfield dishes Cooley in that right pad. Thompson was going the other way, but he made the stop. Suzuki digs it free. Carrier. Far boards round behind the net. Suzuki was there. Carlson plays it away. In comes Cooley. Cooley pinching in. Slafkovsky, backdoor feed, score! Goal! Caulfield, what a goal! Up top, and Caulfield ties it up at 1. Goals in 5 straight games for Cole Caulfield, Frankie, and he's staying red hot here in Washington.
And make that 23 on the season for Cole Caulfield, and this is a very active shift for Kaiden Guhle. He's involved in the rush, and then he's involved on the wall, and that's going to lead to this chance. As Guhle goes down, Slafkovsky covers up for him, and Cole Caulfield, so good at slipping away from the coverage, he does it again. No one tracks where he is. He's at the side of the net, and the presence of mind to elevate that puck quickly over the blocker side of Logan Thompson. Great recognition by Caulfield. He makes it 1-1.
8 goals in 11 career games now versus Washington. Frankie, sometimes you just like playing a team.
There's certain buildings you just feel good in. He was scored last time we were here on Halloween night, and he scores again.
Cole Caulfield, 1-1 game. Armia stops in the corner. Yoel Armia. All the way to the near point. Struble couldn't get there in time. All the way to Montreal territory. Xhekaj moves it quickly. That pass off the skate. And as Armia couldn't advance play, Dobeš will lead for Arber Xhekaj. Xhekaj. Here's Jake Evans. The much talked about center for Montreal, who's had a wonderful year, needs a new contract. And he's playing some lovely hockey right now in Montreal. Dobeš checking to see if it's icing. It's not. Arber Xhekaj picks it up. That was taken away. Feet in front. It was chipped up high over the net. Oh, Taylor Radish was wide open. And a penalty coming up, and it looks like Ethan Frank, in his first taste of the NHL, will get his first penalty in the National Hockey League.
53 Washington's got a minor for tripping.
So we talked about the speed of Ethan Frank as he makes his NHL debut. Well, he's going to put that speed to good use initially as he causes a turnover, turns over the puck on Arber Xhekaj, but then as this puck comes up the wall, he gets his stick into the feet of Alex Newhook. Alex Newhook's going to try and pursue this puck. He can't get to it because he gets taken down to the ice, and Montreal with another power play look after they weren't able to capitalize on their first one of the game.
He was second in the American Hockey League with 20 goals in goal scoring before the call-up for this one. And a tough one as Spencer Carberry will be frustrated with that penalty. Montreal a chance to take the lead now in a 1-1 game. Duhaime in his own zone. Drops it back, and that shot down the ice. All the way to Dobeš. In comes Dow, racing after the puck. Chipped away from him, picked up by Caulfield. Here's Cole Caulfield. Weaving through center ice. He'll throw it back, and it's Dach for Suzuki. Nick Suzuki. Lane Hudson. Over for Dach. Back to Hudson. Lane Hudson. He'll walk the line. Caulfield plays pass. Cole Caulfield in, shoots! In and out. That hit the bar. Caulfield thought he had another one. Suzuki up top for Hudson. Lane Hudson waiting, shooting, and he missed. Protas racing after it, as is Dach. Puck below the goal line. And a nice play by Faravari to release the puck. Down to the left side, chipped in by Protas, and a good chance again for Caulfield. Here's Suzuki through center, thought about the drop-off, and he lost the puck. Alertly, that was Tom Wilson. Dobish well out, and he'll play it away from Wilson.
No fear for Jakub Dobish. We've seen that a few times already in the couple games that he's played. He's willing to get out there and play the puck. He's a pretty aggressive young goaltender.
Putting on the brakes is Duhaime as he kills off Lord's side. Van Riemsdyk up top. Great shot off a stick and wide. Good penalty kill right now here from Washington. Alex Newhook. Watched by Protas. Newhook plays it away for Armia. 15 seconds left in the minor penalty. Yoel Armia up the left wing. He'll walk it in. Takes play into the corner. Armia tried to find Newhook up top. In comes Heineman as well. Final stages, and we are 5-on-5 as Frank is out of the box. 8 minutes gone, second period. Matheson, quick strike for Newhook as he'll hustle into the corner. Backhand round the wall for Goulet. Goulet works it back in deep. Bouncing puck, and that'll be a penalty. Flipped. Puck over glass. Delay a game, and Montreal right back on the power play. Dubois will serve it as Spencer Carberry looks on. It is a 1-1 game here in the second period.
Montreal back to the power play as their power play has looked dangerous, just hasn't been able to cash in this game. It's Pierre-Luc Dubois who gets his second penalty of the night, and this time it's for delay a game as this puck was attempted to get cleared, and he is going to not deflect it, but hit it with his stick out of play. And that is, whether you like it or not, a delay of game penalty. It's not intentional, you're not trying to do it, but he gets the call, and there's Cole Caulfield, who has a little bit of room to work with over the shoulder of Thompson, hits the post, and here's a look at the goal. He gets lost in the coverage, and as Kaiden Guhle pinches down, Juraj Slafkovsky gets rewarded with the assist by being in a good defensive position. Caulfield gets the goal, and he stays red hot against the Washington Capitals.
Montreal in a 1-1 game, trying to get the go-ahead goal. Jakob Chychrun also went down the tunnel. We'll keep an eye on number 6 as Montreal controls. Here's Lane Hudson. Hudson at the line, still on side. He'll drop it off. Suzuki, high wrist shot, and just missed that top corner. Slafkovsky's in front. Dach plays it for Suzuki. Nick Suzuki, Kirby Dach. Little dish for Caulfield. Up for Hudson. Lane Hudson. Suzuki wrist shot again. He missed. Caulfield reaching for it. Hudson gets there in time. Nick Suzuki. Slavkovsky. Caulfield one-timer in and out of that glove as Caulfield was ready. Kind of healed the shot though. Caulfield one more time. Suzuki. Hudson. Lane Hudson assessing options. Caulfield tries again and the pad was ready. Tried to get it through for Dach. Suzuki. Far boards. He'll protect the puck up for Hudson. Hudson. Suzuki. Wrist shot again. Loose in front and Carlson knuckleballs it to center and the Caps get a change in. Suzuki for Caulfield. Slavkovsky lost it as Dowd. A good job to take it away. And knocked down by a high stick. And that'll halt play. 50 seconds left in the minor penalty.
Another sequence for the Canadiens on the power play that looks dangerous, looks threatening. They just don't get anything to show for it. And as much as Hudson is the power play quarterback from the back end, everything has to go through Nick Suzuki. He's either shooting it or passing it. And to be honest with you, I don't mind him taking those shots from the half wall because it creates a little bit of a scramble where you can get the penalty kill moving and see if you can create some holes to find that seam pass across for Caulfield.
Suzuki 18 points in 14 career games versus Washington. More than a point-a-game player again this season, the captain Suzuki. Here's Armia. Newhook around the wall. Gallagher in the corner. Brendan Gallagher. Here's Armia. Up top. Matheson thought about the shot. One-time drive, and Gallagher the tip as Heineman let it go from that far circle. You love the shot on number 51. Puck at center. Tom Wilson. 1-on-2. Brings it in, killing off some more time. 5 seconds left in the penalty. Montreal 2-on-2. Gallagher at the line. He'll hesitate. Brings it in offside. And Pierre-Luc Dubois is out of the box. In a 1-1 tie. Third and final meeting this year between Montreal and Washington. So glad you're with us on this Friday night.
Undrafted 26-year-old Ethan Frank makes his NHL debut tonight, and it's been an already impressive career for him at the AHL level, a 3-time AHL All-Star, and at one of those All-Star games 2 years ago, last year in Laval, he recorded the fastest ever lap time, AHL or NHL. Let me repeat that, AHL or NHL.
You can scoot.
Think about the fastest players in the NHL, Connor McDavid, Dylan Larkin, the list goes on and on. This guy has the record for the fastest lap. He makes his NHL debut tonight, and a special moment for him and his family.
Mom and dad in the crowd, Father Dave, Mom Michelle, sister, about 20 people in the building supporting him. And those skates are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Don't touch them, they're red hot. He skates over the ice, not on it. Kaiden Guhle back defensively. Spinning try, just wide. Ovechkin that close. Don't leave number 8 alone in front. He just missed, though, with that try. Here's Dvorak over the line. Carrier shoots, deflected, loose, and Logan Thompson found it. Chance at either end as Ovechkin that close to goal. 8:73.
There's a little bit of back and forth action, and it starts with Alex Ovechkin, who can make you pay in a hurry. It doesn't take much as he's alone in front of the net. This puck gets filtered towards him. The quick spin gets the shot off, isn't able to cash in, and then the other way, it's Christian Dvorak who drives the middle of the ice, and he puts an opportunity on Logan Thompson that he has to deal with as that was deflected.
Ovi scored on 178 goalies in the NHL. He's tied for the most with Jaromir Jagr. If he could beat Dobish, he would stand alone all time. No one would score against more goalies than Ovi, but Dobish does not want to be that trivia stat. Not on this night. Here's Newhook, little chip and chase. Good speed from Newhook as he'll drive in. Firavari plays it away. That's flipped up by Taylor Radish to center. Up ahead for Lars Eller. Eller knocked off the puck from Arbor Xhekaj. Bouncing puck at center. Pezzetta tries to settle it down. He got hit by Frank. Eller at center ice. He'll spin away. You know, Eller talked about the culture of coming back to this team and how nothing has really changed, and not a lot of pieces are remaining. You got him who returns, Ovechkin, obviously Carlson, Tom Wilson. Unfortunately, Backstrom just with the injury troubles, and Oshie not in the picture, but he said that culture led by Spencer Carberry, their head coach, who should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year right now.
Isn't that amazing what winning can do for an organization?
Here comes Newhook, but a whistle behind the play, and Doc was tripped up with Tom Wilson. And we're going to see who's getting, if there was a call at all. Obviously, they halted play, and Montreal had possession.
Montreal's got a minor for tripping.
Yeah, so there you go. Montreal had possession. Those two players got tangled up. I'm assuming it's Doc then.
Well, he's skating to the bench.
Going to the bench to hide.
He might be getting a new stick as Kirby Dach had the puck. Wilson got through his hands, but then Doc grabs him, and they both go down to the ice. So you can understand why that penalty is called. Wilson's allowed to skate through Doc. Doc can't use his free hand to take him down. So Kirby Dach to the box, and the Washington Capitals to the power play as we're all tied up at 1.
Strome has the third most face-off wins on the power play in the National Hockey League. And there's Ovechkin, all eyes on him as he continues to try track down Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring list. Good to see Chychrun back on the ice as he went down the tunnel momentarily, but he's on this power play right now. Chychrun, who has the goal, a power play marker for Washington in this game. John Carlson hands it off. Ovechkin. That hit Carrier. Picked up by Wilson. Tried to get it back to Ovechkin. Carrier, good battle. Lost it though. Up for Chychrun. Chychrun gets it from Strome. Chychrun. Across. Ovechkin. Tried to pass it through.
No
skate blade is lost. Oh man, Carrier's down. No skate blade for Carrier. Ovechkin. What a helpless feeling that is. Ovechkin for Carlson. Carlson. Ovechkin, you know what's coming. Big shot. Dobish makes the stop. Montreal needs a clear, and now Carrier has to somehow get off the ice as he's down and out, and now he's getting some help, getting pushed off the ice, literally. A little early for the Brier and Scotty's curling season, but Carrier does get to the box with some help from Armia.
That's exactly what it looks like. Hurry hard. What a helpless feeling. You lose your skate blade, and then not only do you not have your skate blade, you're in the middle of the Alex Ovechkin one-timer, and it starts with a pass. Ovechkin's looking for Strome on the back door. Carrier blocks it, but then all he's got to do is just make himself present in the lane for Ovechkin. So at the very worst, at least maybe you can get a piece of the shot. That doesn't happen. Dobish staves it with the blocker, bails out his teammate, and the Montreal Canadiens get the clear.
See, Dobish would have seen that back home in Czechia, like on YouTube videos. Now he sees Alex Ovechkin, the real deal, for the first time here in the NHL. Here's Sandin, looked Ovechkin's way. Found on the pass, look out, Josh Anderson has a break. Anderson in shorthanded. Anderson, back and score! What a goal! Josh Anderson up top. shorthanded marker, and Montreal has a 2-1 lead.
There's a guy who could use a goal. No goals in his last 9 games, but that wouldn't tell the whole story because Josh Anderson is playing some great hockey, and this comes off some good penalty kill work as he's all over Sandin at the blue line. Sandin whiffs on this puck, he falls, and then Anderson, quick to the backhand, elevates it right over the glove of Logan Thompson. And Josh Anderson is going to get his 7th goal of the season. He took a look quickly just to see who was coming behind him. Alex Ovechkin had turned on the Jets, but he was way too far back to make up any kind of significant ground. And Josh Anderson gives the Canadiens a 2-1 lead.
The 5th shorthanded goal this season for Montreal. And it's a 2-1 marker. Now 7 on the season for Anderson. You know the story with him last year. Historical tough numbers for Josh Anderson, and he has fought hard, and what a season he's having. Here's Chychrun, Strome, waiting, looked Ovechkin's way, curls around, John Carlson wanted Ovechkin, and that hit the skate of Evans and down the ice. 10 seconds left in the minor penalty. Marty St. Louis talked to you this morning about this team getting down in a hockey game in the perseverance. They've done it again, battling back, leading by 1. And another penalty, though. Chychrun tried to take it coast to coast. Struble took him down. And Washington are right back on the power play. And Chychrun, remember, he's slow to get up. He left earlier in this period down the tunnel. Slow to get back on his skates. And it's back on the penalty kill. But Josh Anderson, a shorthanded goal, his 7th. Montreal leads.
Montreal playing with fire as Jayden Struble goes to the box, and Washington Capitals back to the power play. As you know, Brian, we've talked about Montreal and their ability to handle momentum and handle these moments in the games. Well, this is a high-scoring team in the Washington Capitals. You can't give them too many looks, and as Jacob Chychrun tries to split through, it's Jayden Struble who gets his stick into his feet, takes him down, and you just don't want to give this Washington group too many looks on the power play. They're a dangerous team, and last time we saw them, they were getting about 4 goals a game. Well, that hasn't slowed down very much. They're at 3.66, and the power play is a big reason why.
Chychrun had the power play goal back in the first period. Montreal leads 2-1. Josh Anderson, the shorthanded marker, has given Montreal the lead. Here's John Carlson. Drops it off for Tom Wilson. Checked by Dvorak, good stick. Carrier pokes that to center ice as Anderson tried to track it down. Anderson lost his stick. He's going to start a change. Chychrun, who drew the penalty. Chychrun, little maneuver out of his own zone at center, drops it back. Carlson for Strome. Tom Wilson in. Wilson shoots up high. Dobish fought it off. Rebound and cleared by Montreal. As Dobish again, since giving up the opening goal, he's settled in. Not a lot of shots. 11 right now fired by Washington, but he's kept them in this game.
But he's looked sharp, and as this Tom Wilson shot comes in, his helmet's going to fall off, so we get the whistle. But Wilson gets body positioning on Evans, gets through his arms, takes a hard shot, and Dobish right away knows that his helmet's off, so calls for the official. But you're right, he has settled in, he looks sharp, he looks engaged, and that's exactly how he looked in his first 2 games of his NHL career against Florida and Colorado, and so far so good for him against Washington.
Frankie, a 5th-round pick in 2020. He was the 13th goalie taken in that draft, and my goodness, looks like Montreal, early indication. I know there's a lot of hockey for this young man to play, but maybe some early gold with that 5th-round pick. Time will tell, but what a start to his young NHL career. He has been fun to watch early. Strome, some speed, wanted Carlson on the fly, missed him. Wilson tried to knock it down out of the reach of Chychrun. And you wonder if Chychrun's 100%, Frankie. Even on that play, he looked like he stumbled a little bit and goes off for a change. Under 5 to go in the second period. 35 seconds left in the minor penalty to Struble. Connor McMichael. He'll drop it back. Dubois brings it in. Ovechkin shoots it in. Mangiapane digs it free. Works it down low. McMichael. Dubois. Pierre-Luc Dubois. McMichael. At the goal line, still with it. Dubois. You know who they want. Dubois. Fans on the one-timer. McMichael. Dubois has space. Sends it in front. Off a skate. Back to 5-on-5 as Struble is out. Mangiapane had a great look in front. Couldn't get the shot away. So a good kill by Montreal. Here's McMichael. Back up, Sandin. Wrist shot tipped wide. Dubois. He gets checked by Evans. Mangiapane dug it free, but right to the stick of Mike Matheson. Matheson flips to the line and worked further by Struble, who's out of the box with 3:30 to go in this second period. Entertaining game on this Friday night, Capital One Arena. Montreal kicking off the new year with a lot of momentum. A tough schedule here in January, but Montreal, a team ready for the challenge. Caps come again. That shot off the pipe, went off the side, the outside of the bar, as Protas made a little noise behind Dobish, but nothing more than that. Roy for Radish. Taylor Radish getting away from Slafkovsky. Chipped up for Protas. Lars Eller, first man in. Eller in the corner with Protas. Here's Caulfield for Slafkovsky. Juraj Slafkovsky takes the dish over the blue line, but him and Suzuki were in together offside.
Well, if you're Washington, you have to find a way to see if you can beat Jakub Dobish, and they have a couple power plays that they're not able to cash in on, but Alexei Protas from a sharp angle here sees that he's got a little bit of room right above the shoulder, but that puck goes off the crossbar, and Jakub Dobish still only giving up 1 goal on the night. And Alexei Protas has been a great story for Washington this season, second on the team in points, and just a huge improvement from the 6 goals that he had last year, 18 on the year this year.
Former teammate of Caden Gooley in the Western League as Dobish squeezes that. Protas had an 80-point season in the Western League as a teammate of his. Prince Albert Raiders.
Brian, you talked about the schedule upcoming and how it's difficult. Well, it has been difficult for the Montreal Canadiens. You think about what they had to do after Christmas, going Florida, Tampa, Vegas, Colorado. Well, there's a lot of tough games coming back. You have the Dallas Stars twice, Toronto, Tampa again, New Jersey, Winnipeg, and Minnesota. There are a lot of good teams to play against, but the good news for the Canadiens is they are playing some great hockey, the best hockey they've played under head coach Martin St. Louis.
Dallas at the Bell Center tomorrow night. And look at it this way. They begin the night, Frankie, 3 points back of a wild card spot. After that win versus Vancouver, they had a playoff spot. You get through that month and that schedule and you're sniffing around a wild card spot, you're legit.
And you could say they haven't fluked their way to this point. Everything has been well earned, what they've done.
Here's Frank, he'll chip it in. Carrier took the hit, but he worked the puck to Dowd, who picked it off and plays it to the far boards. Racing after it is Chychrun. Chip to Brendan Gallagher. Montreal Canadiens veteran, lone man in as his teammates getting the change in. Chychrun back on the puck. That was intercepted. Gallagher one-time drive right on, and that was stopped by Thompson. Chychrun has it in his own zone, plays it away from Nick Suzuki. Matheson at center. Habs got to get back on side, and they will. Puck at center. Here's Slafkovsky with Caulfield. Uri Slafkovsky one-on-one. Bounces to Suzuki for Caulfield. Cole Caulfield trying to create some space towards the net. Tipped and just wide. Slafkovsky. A great tip, but he missed the mark. Puck at center. Here's Gouli. Caden Gouli for Suzuki. Final minute. Capital One Arena. 2-1 Montreal. Here's Suzuki. Space. Waiting. Shoots up high. And a good stop. Thompson. That was a must-make. Montreal comes again. Suzuki tried to jam that in up top. Short side. And again, Thompson. A quality save. Gouli got taken down by Eller at center ice. McMichael for Wilson. And Gouli got up and took that away. 35 seconds left in the period. Big hit in the corner again. As Gouli's going at it behind the play as Evans barrels in. Him and Dubois were tangled up behind the play. Good physical game here on this Friday night. 20 seconds left in the period. Strome reaching for the puck. Couldn't get there in time. Jake Evans bouncing puck in his own zone. He'll flip to space. Yoel Armia cutting in. Wrist shot. Big stop again. Armia denied. Thompson. 3 massive stops here late in this period. Few seconds left. Montreal maybe one last shot. Man, they were pushing hard against Logan Thompson in Montreal. And some pushing and shoving through 40 minutes of play. Frankie, we've got a game here on this Friday night.
We have a high-intensity game as the physical pace, the speed of the game has really picked up. Chances both ways, both goaltenders making saves. Gouli and Dubois going at it up and down the ice, and that is a good period for the Montreal Canadiens. Cole Caulfield gets a goal. Josh Anderson, a player who really need one, gets one shorthanded, and the Montreal Canadiens take a 2-1 lead into the third period.
Tons of power play time in that second period for Montreal, so they shot Washington 13-4. Your intermission is next. Mark Rowe, Marty Biron have you covered.
Core Pacific. You can see it here on TSN. They call it the Happy Slam, which is how I describe any day I get with Mark Tambourine. It's the second intermission.
I'll be watching you.
Will you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Late at night. I love the Australian Open. I love tennis.
Sending me messages again?
Yes, always.
Canadians lead 2-1 after 40 minutes. Cole Caulfield, he's 5 goals away from matching his career high. I'm confident he's going to match that.
Yes.
You should always be confident that he's going to score goals against the Capitals. He's now got 8 in 11 career games and has scored in all 3 games this year. And he scores as the Canadians are gaining momentum in this game.
Yeah, and it's a great play in the offensive zone. Obviously, Caulfield is sneaky. He can retreat, and nobody knows where he's at. Kaiden Guhle makes a really nice play pinching on the wall, and that's how you get some momentum into the offensive zone. And you can see it's against Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's one of the best centermen defensively in his zone. He's with Caulfield, but Guhle's going to come down and pinch and get to the puck first. So what happens now is Dubois in the middle of the ice is puck watching. That puck comes to Slafkovsky. Look at how far wide open Caulfield is. He's able to stop the puck, look up, and score. And for me, the difference between Cole Caulfield in the first 13 games of the season and now in the last 10 is even strength. He had 7 of his first 13 goals on the power play. The last 10 goals are all even strength. That's a big difference. And that's probably one of the reasons why I think Team USA has to consider Cole Caulfield if there is an injury, because it's not just a one-trick pony on the power play. He can score 5-on-5.
And Canadian hockey fans are saying, no, you can't take him. You didn't take him.
The best players should be in there.
The Montreal Canadiens penalty kill after giving up that first goal has been really good, but they almost had a disastrous one in that period, especially for Alex Carrier. They not only fight it off, but also it leads to Josh Anderson finally breaking that 9-game goalless drought.
I never liked facing Ovechkin's one-timer, and I had full goalie equipment. Imagine Alex Carrier, when he loses a skate blade, he's this lame duck sitting there in the shot lane, and he's thinking, oh, get me out of it. But I love players that have really high hockey IQ. Carrier loses a blade. What does he do? Instead of being like, well, I'm going to get in the shot lane of Ovechkin. See how he backs into the lane? He just stands there. And then Mike Madison is saying, okay, maybe I can switch with Carrier. Let me help him get to the middle of the ice, and then I can get to that puck. And because Matheson did this, he cleared it. Carlson did a dumb play by high-sticking the puck. There's a whistle. And about 20 seconds later, after Washington won the draw, Sandin lost the puck. Anderson comes in and scores shorthanded. To me, that's the high hockey IQ of Carrier and Matheson to realize what they needed to do. And now the Canadians are tied for 3rd with 5 shorthanded goals this year. Like, that is a great stat to have, to not only be able to kill the penalties, but score in that way and get the 2-1 lead.
And those 2 goals were against Logan Thompson, who comes in with Charlie Lindgren leaving the game. Don't know what his status is at the moment, but as he's playing his former team, it's a tough break for him, but it's also a situation that we haven't necessarily seen in years past.
No, and you look at the way that the injury happened. Look, Igor Shesterkin missed some time because he got hit by his own teammate, a player into him. The same thing here happened to Charlie Lindgren, and that's another thing I didn't like as a goalie on the bench when my coach was like, you're going in. I was always trying to look like I wasn't there. Duhaime hit Suzuki and Lindgren, clear contact to the head. The concussion spotter pulled him the next whistle. So Logan Thompson goes in. There's an adjustment to the rule this year. You could never get warm-up shots, but if the concussion spotter pulls a player, a goalie, the next goaltender can get warm-up shots. That's the only situation. If you get hurt and you leave on your own because you're injured, no warm-up shots. If you get pulled because, well, you give up too many goals, no warm-up shots. But concussion spotter, Logan Thompson is saying, I'm taking warm-up shots because I want to take more time so he can go in, get evaluated, and come back. Instead, well, he gives up 2 goals. So not a fun situation for a backup goalie to go in.
It's kind of like a pitcher, you know, coming in from the bullpen, getting a couple pitches in.
Yes, I like that. Or the tennis, you know, you take your time with the serve and you use the shot.
Going right back to the Australian Open.
Yes.
We're at the midway point of the season. Marty's going to hand out his major individual award winners. Stay tuned for that.
Just wondering if you could squeeze this in.
I'm sorry, we're booked out.
Championships as Canada takes on Czechia. That semi-final goes Saturday morning, 11:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Good friend Laura Dykin, who's usually hosting this, is anchoring our coverage. Looking forward to that game. Back alongside with Martin Biron, it's game 41 of the Montreal Canadiens season. So we thought midway point of the season, let's give out some individual awards. And since you're a goaltender, we're obligated to go with the Vezina Trophy. So who are you giving that out to? And I'm shocked that you're going with somebody in Winnipeg.
Well, it's pretty easy. It's going to be Connor Hellebuyck. And look, I saw some numbers the other day that the difference between the league average and where Connor Hellebuyck's save percentage is about the same difference than when Dominik Hasek was dominating the league in the mid-90s, right? So you look at a 20-point difference and more between where Connor Hellebuyck is, and you look at the wins, goals against average, save percentage, goals save above expected, like all of that. He's either first or second. He's gotten 300 wins, 500 games, 40 shutouts. He's fantastic career-wise, but this season is dominating. So that's easy for me. The Vezina goes to Connor Hellebuyck once again.
Well, and once again, the Montreal Canadiens are hoping to bring some hardware back to their city, and specifically the Calder Trophy. Where are you going here?
Well, I'm going to go to Lane Hutson, and this is interesting because at the start of the season, I had Matvei Michkov as my number one, and then Macklin Celebrini kind of took, well, a little bit more traction. And then Dustin Wolf in Calgary, at one point I was like, he'd be my Calder winner. But then the last few weeks, like the way Lane Hutson is playing, he's playing 23 minutes a night, sometimes 24 minutes a night. He leads the rookies in points this season, and the way that he controls the play, like, I compared him to Quinn Hughes the other day, and Quinn Hughes, look, he won the Norris last year, and he's fantastic. But Lane Hutson has that ability to change the tempo of the game, the momentum of a game, the possession of a game. So I'm going with Lane Hutson for the Calder this year as Rookie of the Year.
He'd be the first Montreal Canadian to win that award since Ken Dryden. Pretty good company.
And Ken Dryden did it in basically his second season because he had played and won the Cup the year before, but qualified as a rookie his second year.
Okay, history lesson here.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay, how about the Rocket Richard Trophy? Right now, a certain Edmonton Oiler is leading that race.
Yeah, and it's not Zach Hyman, and it's not Connor McDavid. It's Leon Draisaitl, and I watched Leon Draisaitl shoot the puck over and over and over again. He's got that big, long blade, the sweeping one-timer, the wrist shot, the backhand, the chip shot like he did against Pittsburgh the other night. 31 goals this year. That gap between Mikko Rantanen, Brayden Point, and Leon Draisaitl, 6 goals in 40 games, is a huge gap. And I think even if Draisaitl had a little bit of a down, second half of the season or a little bit of a down spot, he'd still be winning in my opinion. So I think he's going to get to 55, maybe 60 this year, which would be a really good number.
For weeks we've been debating who's going to win the MVP in the NFL. I know who you're going to pick there, but I find it a similar...
JA-17, my boy, yes.
I find it like a similar race here in the NHL where you can make the case for about 3 or 4 guys at the moment.
Absolutely, and for the longest time it was Nathan MacKinnon for me. Look, the way that the Colorado Avalanche didn't really get goaltending earlier in the season, Gabe Landeskog has been hurt for the last few years and is still not back, although Mikko Rantanen's having a fantastic season. So some would say, hey, maybe Mikko Rantanen should deserve some of the love. So Nathan MacKinnon, for me, he's the competitor. The Avalanche come back in games. They give up leads, and then they come back because Nathan MacKinnon puts them on their back. But the last 2 weeks, I think Leon Draisaitl has put himself neck and neck, right at the same level as Nathan MacKinnon. And because I look at Leon Draisaitl, I'm saying what he did without, McDavid, he's doing it on his own at times, and he's producing in all aspects of the game. So I think it's Leon Draisaitl right there with MacKinnon.
And it might be changing by the week, given what the season's like.
Oh, absolutely it will.
All right, the mid-season awards by Martin Biron. Meanwhile, the best shorthanded goal of the game so far is the only one, courtesy of Josh Anderson. It's a 2-1 lead for the Habs after 2.
This January at Boston Pizza.
struggling again from come-from-behind fashion. With more on what they've seen after 40 minutes, here is Brian Munich and Frankie Corrado.
Mark, so great to see Josh Anderson score that shorthanded goal. He had just 9 goals all of last season, up to 7 this year. Frank, you had a good chat this morning with Marty St. Louis about this team getting down in games, perseverance. We saw it again in this contest thus far.
It's a resilient group, and you want to be resilient when the other team is going to throw their wave at you, right? You know they're going to apply some pressure, and you're going to get scored on, but what is your answer back? Do you believe in what you're doing? But more than that, let's say the other team wants to pick up the intensity. Are you going to be able to handle that? Can you throw the intensity back at them, the physicality? Can your goaltender go save for save with the other goaltender? You look at tonight, it wasn't a great start for the team in this game. They give up the power play goal, then they get another penalty, they kill that one off, and then they get to their game. Like, there's a lot of things that you can point to in this game and these last run of games that shows this group being a resilient group, but a group that believes in what they're doing and seeing the results.
I think it could be the beard for Marty. I mean,
it has
the beard.
to be.
He said this morning his wife doesn't like it, but if they keep winning, he's got to keep the playoff beard growing to try get to the playoffs, I guess. Mark.
Yeah, you can't shave that beard at this point, given the way that the Canadians are playing. And how about the way that Cole Caulfield is playing now? Has goals in 5 straight games, 23 on the season. Then it was Josh Anderson with Montreal's 5th shorthanded goal of the season as the Habs lead 2-1 over the Capitals with the call of the third period. Let's go back to Brian and Frankie.
Mark, Jakub Dobeš, what a game, what a start to his young career, as we talked about early. The 5th Habs rookie goalie to win his first 2 games in the last 40 years to start his career. He's yet to allow, Frankie, a 5-on-5 goal in his young NHL career.
It's been a masterful start for him, and that's been a 2-period stretch here for the Montreal Canadiens that has been masterful defensively. Only 10 shots allowed, and then when you look at slot shots, only 3 allowed, and 2 high-danger chances allowed so far through 2 periods. So the team in front of him is pulling their weight as they allow their young goaltender to settle into life in the NHL.
Puck drop, third period underway. Cole Caulfield leads the team, 5 shots on goal. He's got a goal. Josh Anderson has the shorthanded goal, 2-1 Montreal. Puck battle in Habs territory. Ovechkin knocked that down. Slashdat comes back to center. Washington 4-6-1 this season when trailing after 40 minutes. Kaiden Guhle in his own zone, pokes it up ahead. Here's Gallagher, accepts the pass, over the line, drops it off. Anderson lost the handle. Josh Anderson checked by Strome, and here's Ovechkin. His pass went off Anderson. Here's Dvorak. Dvorak in as the Capitals are starting a change. That's off a stick and out of play here at Capital One Arena.
Van Riemsdyk was trying to get off of the ice. Carlson wanted to come onto the ice, and as that happened, Christian Dvorak had the puck. He was streaking down, and Spencer Carberry and his team, this is not a familiar situation for them as they only have 1 goal through 40 minutes. They've been a great offensive team all season long, and you know they're going to have a push, but give Montreal a lot of credit. They have made it very difficult for Washington to generate those high-quality scoring chances, a team that has done that with relative ease this season.
Slafkovsky to tip on the shot from Hudson. Washington averaging 3.66 goals per game this season. That's second in the National Hockey League, to your point, Frankie. Nick Suzuki at center. Slafkovsky. He got dumped. Slow to get back up, and it's picked up by Matheson. Mike Matheson for Suzuki. 4 shots in the game for the captain. Works it towards the net. And no surprise, Charlie Lindgren will not return to this game. Upper body injury. As Marty Biron talked about that in the intermission as well. Logan Thompson has come in. Montreal leads 2-1. And it's game 1 of a back-to-back for Montreal. They'll take on Dallas at the Bell Center tomorrow. Remember last year, in game 2s of back-to-backs, Frankie, they were not very good. Just the 1 win in game 2s of back-to-backs, but they got to take business care of it tonight here first versus Washington.
You keep looking at areas where this team has improved year over year, and that's going to be a big one. And it never made sense that they were so bad on the second half of back-to-backs last year because they were a young group. They're not an old, aging group, and they've shown their youth in a good way in those back-to-backs so far this season.
Radish, Eller, and Frank up front right now here for Washington. Trying to get some ozone time, but a good job by Montreal. They'll free the zone. Draw pass from Pezzetta as he started the give and go. Didn't get the pass back, and that should be icing but Frank can really scoot, and he gets there first. Frank on the puck. We talked about his speed. Set up, try, score! Lars Eller buries one off the speed of Ethan Frank, and that's his first point in the NHL, and it's a great one. It tied up at 2.
Well, when you talk about this kid, Ethan Frank, the first thing you hear about is the speed and the shot. And here he's going to use his speed to beat out this icing, and that's what's going to make the goal happen. He beats out Arber Xhekaj getting back for this puck, and Lars Eller is going to arrive onto the scene a little bit late, but that's perfect timing because there's 3 Montreal Canadiens players who are watching Frank with the puck. No one catches Eller coming into the zone, and he catches it, he releases it. Dobish had his hand up initially, signaling that it was icing. The icing doesn't get called, and then it's a shot right under the glove on the short side by Eller that makes this game 2-2.
The native of Nebraska, the 26-year-old in his NHL debut, he's got an assist on the goal from the former Montreal Canadian, Lars Eller, who's got his 4th now in his return with the Capitals. He had 4 with the Penguins this year before the trade.
And as we take a look at this again, Arber Xhekaj is going to be going back for this puck. He's skating fast, but Frank just beats him out. I don't mind the call, and then Frank does a great job working it to a spot where he can make a play to Lars Eller. That's just a really fast player in Ethan Frank beating out that icing.
In a game, in a moment he'll never forget. Family and friends in the house. Here's Lane Hudson. Matheson, one-time shot, fought off by Thompson. Dowd's stick went flying. Let's throw it towards the net. Dowd will get the stick. Evans has the puck. Jake Evans up to the line. Matheson waiting, shooting. He wanted the tip from Heineman. Mangiapane will pick it up. Mangiapane at his own line, poked off his stick. Armia lurking. Good steal, Evans onside. Jake Evans brings it in, winds up the shot. And Roy got in his lane, quick release, and that one was whipped wide. Matheson, he'll collect it at the line. Hudson trying to walk it in. Hudson, he'll stop. Lane Hudson, up for Matheson. Matheson shot, and you can see the battle in front of the net. The big glove of Thompson flashing out as the goalie, 6'4", will find it and hold.
Great response by the Canadiens. You get scored on and you come back with a big shift in the offensive zone, and it all stems from hard work with this 4th line. Emil Heineman has a fadeaway shot, and then how about last man back, Lane Hudson. I'm just going to put this under your stick, go around you. Fearless player as he drives this down the wall, looking to make a play towards the net. And as he does so well, hanging on to the puck in the offensive zone.
Cole Caulfield back to work in the corner. Suzuki. Puck went through his legs. And Dubois able to start the play. Sandin shoots it in for Washington. In comes Protas. Gouli plays it away from him as the 2 teammates in the Western League out on the ice here together right now. Gouli weaves in over the line. With it, shooting. That was blocked. Sandin took it away. Slafkovsky back on the puck. He couldn't center. Here's Sandin with Dubois. Sandin stops. Waits in the corner, checked by Caulfield. Moved up top. One-time drive and a good shot block. Gouli, that one stung as Tom Wilson stepped into that shot.
Gouli's been everywhere in this game. It's been one of his most active games of the season, and you have to think about Monday against Vancouver. The big hit, then scores a goal, very involved, and then tonight using his legs. He's up in the play, and then he's back, and he's going to block this shot. He goes out to challenge Tom Wilson, just sticks his right foot out enough so that he gets into that lane and deters that puck from going to the front of the net. But Brian, we always talk about how shot blocking is a little bit of an art. There's another example as Kaiden Guhle's headed down the tunnel.
Ovechkin throws it across. Wrist shot, missed the mark. Chychrun towards the net again. Puck in the corner. Evans lost his stick. He's got to get a new one. Little pop pass through the legs. Anderson feeds it in front, deflected just wide. As that was a stick. Good defensive play. Van Riemsdyk was there, and now he'll play to the far boards. Xhekaj trying to keep it alive. Arber Xhekaj works it back in for Anderson. Played up the left wall. Here's Ovechkin in his own zone. Ovechkin up ahead. Strome. At the end of a shift, he'll backhand it in. Mike Matheson sets up behind Dobish. Last game for both teams went to overtime, both versus the Canucks, and both these teams were victorious. In comes Doc. He'll crash in. Doc tries to center. Suzuki there, and it was poked out of harm's way. Good stick there by Lars Eller. Suzuki on the puck. He fell. Roy pushed the play up ice. Here's Eller. Eller over the line. Lost it, or he tried to leave it, one or the other, but it was picked up by Montreal. Work to center. Suzuki chipped it in. Play to the line. Bouncing around. Newhook in front. Wrist shot off a leg and wide from Kirby Dach. That puck was pinballing on that sequence. Back for it is Carrier. He's in there with Hudson. Puck behind the net. There's Frank. Centers again. Sandin keeps it alive. They'll send it across. High wrister. I think it off the glove and grazed the crossbar maybe and stayed out. Caps going to get back on side, and they will. Big collision at the blue line, but Washington tries to come again. Here's Dowd. Nick Dowd close to space. Look out. That was poked away by Suzuki, and then he was upended by Duhaime. Mangiapane. He'll drop it off. Duhaime towards the net. Another high bouncing puck. Dangerous area. Montreal trying to clear. Someone took a high stick. That's Duhaime. And here's Evans the other way. Play continues. Evans drops it off. Wrist shot, glove down. Thompson, what a stop. A good rip from Yoel Armia, and Logan Thompson called into duty. Maybe his best save of the game.
This is a tough puck to track because you can't see where it gets released from. There's no follow through from Armia on this shot. Jake Evans does a nice job getting to the middle of the ice. And then first it's the Josh Anderson look here as he's just trying to thread this across to Dvorak. Van Riemsdyk gets a stick on it, is able to make sure that puck is out of harm's way. But the Armia shot that he takes, there's no follow through. So for Thompson, he's just tracking the puck the entire way. He can't see the stick, and it happens quick, but he covers up. Canadians get an offensive zone faceoff.
Eller, Dvorak. And they'll do it again. Lars Eller, that clinching goal for Washington in his second stint with the Capitals. Puck available to the forehand and backhand, and just wobbled off the stick as Heineman cut right towards the net. This line doing what they do, back to work. Heineman. Arbor Jacki works it across. Caden Gooley wrists it in. Heineman into the corner. Dvorak trying to center. Dvorak and Heineman working down low. Heineman on the puck, using the wall up top. Arbor Jacki works it across. Wrist shot Gooley. It's in deep again. Armia battling in the corner. Him and Eller continue that battle, and Trevor Van Riemsdyk frees the puck, gets it to center, and Radish will chip it in. They'll start a much-needed change, but that's a good look from that line. That time it was Dvorak, Armia, and Heineman. Slafkovsky from his own zone. 7 minutes gone, third period, 2-2 game. Juraj Slafkovsky will chip and chase after the puck. In on Roy. Roy leaves it in the corner. Martin Firavari. Pierre-Luc Dubois, space, cutting in, drops it off, big bomb, and Wilson missed. Matheson, below the goal line. Carrier alertly pokes it to the left side. In comes Caulfield. Caulfield waits, buying some time, and that came out of the zone, so Montreal in offside. Mike Matheson and the Montreal Canadiens in a 2-2 tie here in Washington, D.C. on this Friday night. Welcome back to Capital One Arena. Time now for the Molson big moment of the game.
And that belongs to Josh Anderson. No one wants to lose the special teams battle. The Canadians give up a power play goal in the first period, so what do? Well, they get a shorthanded goal, and that comes off the stick of Josh Anderson, who gets his 7th goal of the season. It was his first goal in 9 games, and at the time gave the Canadians a 2-1 lead. Now we're at 2-2, and both teams trading chances off the rush for the Montreal Canadiens. See if you can keep the Washington Capitals out of your own zone and be a little cleaner breaking the puck out.
Habs trying to come again. Dvorak in the corner. Montreal now tied for 3rd in the NHL with 5 shorthanded goals as a team. Josh Anderson, you talked about it, a big moment. That was a big one as we got a 2-2 game. Montreal battling the top team in the Eastern Conference tonight. Here's Anderson on the puck. He'll flip it to space into the corner. Dvorak was setting up in front, wanted the pass. In comes Gallagher, finishing his body check. Gallagher, puck on his stick, tried to hand it back to Dvorak, and McMichael has it. 8 minutes gone, 3rd period. Sandin, he'll wrist it in. Carrier hustling back. Dvorak able to steer into the corner. Caden Gooley, the high flip to space. Bouncing behind Anderson, now he's got it, and he'll work it in. Newhook in on Thompson, who plays the puck. Chychrun there, Thompson reaching for the puck, tried to chip it to the point, held in by Kirby Dach, and he'll maneuver it right back in. There's Evans. Jake Evans in the corner. Back up top. Lane Hudson. Wrist shot, stop, rebound. And Ovechkin found it as Thompson had lost sight of it, and Lane Hudson back on it. Hudson starts to play quickly. Newhook in, wrist shot, kicked aside again. Hudson has to hustle back as Frank was using his speed again to cut in. Lars Eller plays it in deep. Radish after it. There's Matheson. Eller steals the puck. Lars Eller up top. Gets it back from Van Riemsdyk. Eller waiting, shooting. Good block by Hudson. The fastest Habs rookie defenseman to 30 points ever in franchise history, and a big shot block right there.
That's a good sequence for him. He had the shot at the blue line, the shot block in his own zone, and he's been a little more of a shooter in this game.
Cole Caulfield wanted his captain Suzuki. Suzuki lost the puck battle. Flipped in by the Capitals. Lone man in was Frank as his teammates changing. Backhand feed intended for Dubois. Caulfield had it, lost it at the line, but Slafkovsky for Suzuki. He'll chip it in. Martin Feravari has it. He's checked by Slafkovsky. Feravari skates away from him and then plays it for Roy behind the net. Matt Roy, who signed that 6-year, $34.5 million deal with the Capitals back July 1st, starts to play. Dubois beating it in front. The shot. Wilson couldn't get it through. And here's Caulfield. He couldn't bring the puck with him up that left side. Habs will come again, though. Puck in the corner. Slafkovsky, Caulfield across. And a good stick there by Wilson. Tom Wilson finds the puck, sends that down the ice, bouncing at the Habs line. Protas there. Here's Slafkovsky. Puck at the line and just offside as Jake Evans was tracking in. Evans 10 goals, 23 points, his career high. 13 goals and 29 points as Evans is having a year in Montreal in a 2-2 tie. Tonight's high performance part is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
Well, how about the kid making his NHL debut? Ethan Frank is going to get rewarded with an assist as after he beats out this icing, feeds Lars Eller for the goal. This ties things up at 2. And his teammate in Hershey, Chase Prisky, said today if he gets one shot on net, he's going to get a goal. Well, he's got an assist, and it's a big one as the Washington Capitals have tied things up. One thing to look at right now, Brian, the Montreal Canadiens are running 5 defensemen as a rotation. We haven't seen Jayden Struble since that penalty he took in the second period.
And we don't think he's hurt. He's sitting on the bench right now behind Samuel Montembeault. As that's knocked down by a high stick.
Well, he's had a chance to play here the last 3 games as David Savard has been out of the lineup. And part of the process for Struble has been limiting those bigger mistakes. He can play a steady game. He's strong along the wall and in those battles, but you can't have the lows be as low, and that's part of the learning process for a young defenseman in the NHL.
Struble looks on. Montembeault will go tomorrow night against the Dallas Stars at the Bell Center. Here's Van Riemsdyk. 2-2 tie here at Capital One Arena. Foot race on. No icing. Carrier gets there first. Alex Carrier tries to chip that into the corner. Mangiapane held it in momentarily. Armia got it to center. Chychrun shoots it right back in. There's Dobish. Carrier shadowed by Mangiapane. Here's Lane Hudson. Maneuvers through center over the blue line. Hudson in on Carlson. 2 great American defensemen. And they're both pinned. And there's another one coming in the Washington organization. His name is Cole Hudson. He just won a World Junior gold medal for the United States, as did Ryan Leonard, the captain of that team, both products now of the Washington Capitals.
They've built a strong system of young players here, and I don't remember Washington ever bottoming out. They've done a great job drafting and developing, and the Hershey Bears, of course, back-to-back Calder Cup trophy winners in the AHL.
Here's Sandin, a little bit of space, walks it in, wrist shot, and that's high and out of play.
You know, Brian, just going back to Jayden Struble, I've been in that situation where you're done for the night and you're sitting there and you just have to be a good teammate and put on a good face for your teammates, and that's exactly what a young player is going to do. There's so many different learning experiences that you have, especially in the NHL. It can be such a humbling league and so many humbling experiences, but it's just part of the process. He's a good young player. He's going to be a good player for a long time. It's just one of those bumps in the road.
Here's Carlson. Mentioned the 700-point club. 31st D-man to do it in the NHL. 20 of them, Frankie, are in the Hall of Fame. He's had a great career here in Washington. And he continues to have one. Up top, Sandin faked the shot. Hands it off. Radish up top. That point shot held with Eller right there, looking for anything but again. Jakub Dobish keeping it a 2-2 game.
And John Carlson, who's been such a consistent point producer from the back end, is going to get this shot to the net. A nice play by Rasmus Sandin just to hold off, and that keeps the offensive zone possession alive. There's a little bit of a distraction as Eller and Newhook are tangled up, and Eller actually pushes Newhook into the way. That could have been a screen, but Dobish makes the save.
Here's Carlson on the puck towards the net. Glove down. No problem there from Jakub Dobish.
And Brian, you talked about John Carlson and Lane Hudson together behind the net. So they both don't make the Four Nations Cup this year. That's fine. But with the Olympics coming up, like John Carlson is one of those guys that he would have been right down to the wire in those conversations. What does one more year in the league do for Lane Hudson?
That's in front, the tip, rebound, right, Radish jams away! Dobish, what a stop! Jakub Dobish, multiple chances, and he shuts them all down.
That is called standing your ground in the net. Jakub Dobish, that's his best sequence of the game so far. Starts with a face-off win for the Washington Capitals, and John Carlson keeps this possession, uses his partner, but then it's a give and go. And as he finds Radish with the high tip, 1-2 whacks, Jakub Dobish doesn't move off the post, cements his leg down onto the ice, covers up, and a couple key saves as he keeps this game tied up at 2 with 7:32 left to go in the third period.
16 stops now and counting. Faravari off the draw. Throws it across. Wrist shot. And that stayed out. I think Dobish just got a piece as it missed high. He might have got a touch on that. Again, Protas. What a chance he had. Here's Slafkovsky, 1-on-2, trying to barrel in. Protas took it away. Protas, by the way, second in the National Hockey League in plus-minus. He comes in a +24. That's tied for second in the NHL. We talked about him taking a massive step this season, and Protas will chip it in. Centering feed as Wilson tried to get it to Dubois. Dubois, side of the net. He was the hero on Wednesday versus Vancouver, both goals in that win. Dubois continues to work. Protas in the corner as well. Slafkovsky able to dig it free. Here's Nick Suzuki. Suzuki through center for Caulfield. Cole Caulfield was cut off by Faravari. And Matheson got clipped by Wilson, lost his helmet. He's going to get off. Protas has the puck. Now Wilson's lost his stick. He'll collect that. Here's Dubois. Lone man in, wrist shot. Dobish was ready for it. Arber Xhekaj will pick it up. Xhekaj in the corner lost it, takes down Mangiapane. He lost his footing. Falls again. Slafkovsky there as well. Xhekaj, Mangiapane trying to skate away from him. He'll push it behind the net, play to the near point. Chychrun. Jacob Chychrun towards the net. Bouncing puck clear to Slafkovsky. At his own line, Juraj Slafkovsky will take it back, but he meets Mangiapane again.
Puck back. That's one of those ones, right at the blue line. You have some tired bodies, get that puck going north.
Hudson got spun around and Van Riemsdyk just holds it in. It's been a great shift for Andrew Mangiapane. Emil Heineman finally has the puck. He'll bring it, little chip to himself of the right side, allows Montreal to get a change in. Under 6 to go, third period. Matheson's helmet is still sitting there far circle. Good battle for space. Armia sent it in front behind Evans, though. Comes to the point, wrist shot, and probably going wide. But Logan Thompson decides to stop play regardless, as Matheson will get his helmet back. 2-2 game, shots 26-18 in favor of Montreal.
Molson Canadiens Hockey on TSN is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or XL, there's a Molson with your name on it.
Washington so good at home inside Capital One Arena this year. 14-4-3. First in the Metro, first in the Eastern Conference, but Montreal, what a performance thus far. Remember, back Halloween night, October 31st in this building, lost 6-3. It got away from them in that game. It hasn't in this game. Montreal's been great.
This team feels very different than that team that was here on October 31st. And if you've watched this third period go on, you've seen Montreal continue to attack. Anytime Washington feels like they're going to have some sustained offensive zone time, it's a high flip or a puck to space, and Montreal's been able to tilt it back in their direction.
Anderson wins the draw. Matheson one-time drive, and that was blocked. Dvorak reaching for it. Mangiapane works it for Dowd. And Dowd got tripped up coming into the zone. Hudson trying to avoid contact, and he will. Avoids the check, and Montreal clears. Here's Gallagher up the right wing. He'll slash it in. 5 minutes to go, third period. In a 2-2 game. Entertaining game on this Friday night. Gallagher tried to center. Nobody home. Wrong jersey. Here's Protas. He'll chip and chase after it. Alexei Protas continues to skate for the puck. Big body, 6'6". He kicks at it. Comes to the near wall. Foot race on. It pops to center. Gallagher has the puck. He'll chip it in. Rasmus Sandin from his own zone. Little backhand dish along the wall. Wanted Dubois. Carrier back. Alex Carrier. Pierre-Luc Dubois. They battle in the corner. Yoel Armia sitting on 99 career goals in the NHL. He'll bring it in. Armia protects in. Try the backhand in front. What a stop. The follow-up try, and the left pad of Thompson kicked out in time. Thompson has come in relief and made some unbelievable stops to keep it 2-2. Here's McMichael. He jumps on the ice. Works it into the corner. Big hit Gooley. Takes down his man Wilson. Carrier from his own zone to the left side. Gooley, he'll chip it behind the net. Puck battle in the corner, up for McMichael. He'll dish to center, picked up by Matheson. A little bit of space. Uri Slafkovsky behind the net. Takes the body check. Comes up top. Arbor jackknife bomb hit a body and it trickles wide. Lost its velocity on its way to the net. Matheson took a body check. Slafkovsky continues to work on this shift. Uri Slafkovsky in the corner. Trying to center it. Caulfield frees the puck. Spinning Suzuki into the glove again of Logan Thompson. Nick Suzuki that close. With 3:13 to go, he was the OT winner back on Monday, and what a save from Thompson.
It's really hard work by the Canadians right now. The fourth line just did it. Yoel Armia with a power move to the net, and then the first line follows it up. And a lot of this work comes below the goal line, but as this puck goes up the wall, Suzuki's going to put himself into the slot, but he doesn't get anything on this shot. Now, could have fooled Logan Thompson because maybe he thinks there's a little more on it, but he gets his glove on it. But that is a hard-working couple shifts for the Montreal Canadiens as they look for the lead in this tied game.
Evans, big draw. And they'll redo the face-off, him and Dowd. Both goalies have start in this game. Thompson coming in relief for the injured Lindgren. Dobish has stood on his head, making some nice stops as well. Montreal controls. Newhook behind the net. Alex Newhook protects the puck. Hudson for Matheson. Mike Matheson. He delivers it wide. Kirby Dach in the corner. Newhook. He'll protect. Newhook trying to drop it off. Poke. Oh, Hudson, what a play to keep it alive. Unbelievable play from Hudson there. Evans took a spill. And finally, Duhaime chips into space. Mangiapane, Hudson back on his skates, racing for the puck, and he'll play it away. Not a lot of players are making that play at the blue line there, Frankie.
And then beating your foot race back into your own zone. And Andrew Mangiapane is a pretty fast player, but Lane Hudson, good foot speed and always uber competitive when the puck is up for grabs.
Hudson had it stripped that time by Strome. He's backed up, though, at his own blue line and wristed in from Carrier. Here's McMichael. Stops at his own line. McMichael for Chychrun. He'll fire it in. Strome, first man in. He's met by Gooley in the corner. Caulfield pokes it for Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky takes contact, but he has the puck. Uri Slafkovsky to center. Up the left wing with Suzuki. Try to get it back to Slafkovsky. Broken up at the blue line. Capitals come back. Strome, little shoulder check. Takes a look. Hands it off. Chychrun, toe drag. Lost it. Van Riemsdyk spinning shot. Handled by Dobish. Under 2 to go, third period. Caps got to get back on side. And they will. As Ovechkin is gassed, he makes his way to the bench for a change.
And he was in front of the net, and Dobish took a little body contact. He laid flat on his back for a second, but he's up, and Ovechkin's off the ice.
Dubois crashing into the play. Played up top, just onside. Sandin across. John Carlson works it in deep. Dubois there. Protas picks it up. Checked by Gooley. Minute 15 to go in the game. Gooley pins him. Third and final meeting. It's been a good one between the Habs and Capitals. Sandin, they'll work it right back in. Dubois in the corner. Dvorak across one time, a weak one. It wobbled. Sandin picks it up. Final minute, Capital One Arena, just onside. Held in by Tom Wilson. Caps pressing, looking for the go-ahead goal. Tom Wilson at the line. He'll send it across. Switch up spots. Picked up by Protas. Protas near boards. Gooley doesn't have a stick, so he'll grab one, but the Capitals lose a big opportunity. Gooley had lost his stick, and now it's Dubois in his own zone with 35 to go.
Gooley was finally getting a stick, and John Carlson thought he was going to 2-on-1 Gooley with Protas, but as he left the blue line, Protas dropped it to no one. Nice break for the Habs.
Mangiapane stripped at center ice. Caps work it in, and offside is called with 21.7 to go in a 2-2 tie.
There's been a few pushes from the Capitals in this third period. There's the latest one, and Caden Gooley spends a large portion of that last shift without a stick. He finally is able to get one, and it's an unforced error by the Washington Capitals, but you have to give the Canadians a lot of credit for how they've played in this third period. They've controlled a lot of the play, and when Washington has had their push, they've done a nice job keeping things to the outside.
20 seconds left. Evans, Dowd. Puck battle, won by Washington. It's back to Roy. Faravari at his own line. Back to Roy. Shot in. No icing as Dobish will play it into the corner. 4 seconds left. Mangiapane checked by Evans. Montreal has it. And both these teams went to overtime in their last games. It was both against Vancouver. Capitals won that one. Montreal won their contest, and we're going to do it again in a 2-2 tie.
Another impressive 60 minutes for the Montreal Canadiens as they come into a tough building against a high-scoring team, keep them to 2 goals through regulation, and now have a chance to pick up an extra point, as these are important points because this team is in the playoff hunt coming into tonight, 3 points back of the final wild card spot, and it's a resilient effort and getting contributions from all 4 lines. And here's how we got here. The Montreal Canadiens had a 2-1 lead going into the third period. It's Ethan Frank, who's making his NHL debut, who beats out an icing and sets up Lars Eller to make this game 2-2. As Montreal had players back, but no one picked up Eller coming into the offensive zone, and Montreal does a good job managing the ice time after that. Now you go back to Wednesday night. Washington Capitals play a game against the Vancouver Canucks. Pierre-Luc Dubois has 2 goals in this game, including the overtime winner. He's had a really nice season for the Capitals thus far. 3rd on the team in points, looks engaged and has been a force. And Monday night, it was Nick Suzuki at the Bell Center. Boy, that building was rocking, wasn't it, Brian? Vancouver scored 2 quick goals in the second period. They took a lead, and Nick Suzuki had the answer for the Canadians, and he's been quick to strike in overtime, as indicated here. His latest.
48 seconds into OT, Frankie, and look at that. So one of those is in the playoffs, obviously. Remember Game 5 of the first round back in 2021? Jeff Petrie, regular season, he's got 4 in franchise history in the opening minute of overtime. Suzuki's got 3 regular season, but he is a clutch player, had the big OT winner. Montreal in OT this season 5-3. The Washington Capitals 4-4. This speaks, though, again, they got down 1-0 in the game. Your conversation earlier today with Martin St. Louis about resilience and what this group and how they've changed.
The first 5 to 7 minutes of this game, you watch and you say that this one could get away from them, but it doesn't. They have good resolve right now in their game. They stay composed, and that's a great sign of a team that's trying to knock on the door for a playoff spot and continue to pick up these important points.
Overtime underway. John Carlson has the puck out there with Strome and Dubois. You got Evans out there with Lane Hudson and Nick Suzuki. John Carlson didn't like the setup. He'll curl around in his own zone and reload from there. Carlson now through center ice. Over the blue line. Hudson got his stick on it, and a good steal. Here's Lane Hudson with a puck. As Hudson, he'll hesitate. Try that stretch home run pass. Caulfield first to the puck. Cole Caulfield behind the net. Caulfield up top. Suzuki waiting, shooting, and he just missed.
Would have been under a minute again.
Suzuki back on it at center. They'll reload. Caulfield has a goal in the game. Cole Caulfield in, wrist shot stop, rebound, swatted away. Thompson again, a big save, and look out, the Capitals come in numbers. Suzuki, lone man back as Caulfield hustled back though. And forced Strome. Here's Protas waiting, dish, and hit Hudson. And now Montreal has a chance to break away in numbers. Caulfield to Suzuki. Nick Suzuki, oh, the pass for Caulfield, bouncing, score! He did it again! Nick Suzuki, overtime winner in back-to-back games, and Montreal takes it 3-2.
We got to add another goal to the board as this one is 1 minute and 15 seconds into overtime. The overtime hero, Nick Suzuki, strikes again as it went back and forth. This was a great game for Nick Suzuki. In overtime, a couple great defensive zone sequences off the rush, making sure that Washington can't get anything going to win this game, and then he's going to ultimately be the one who finishes things off. You always look to your leaders, you look to your captain, and that is a nice game for Nick Suzuki. As here's a 2-on-1 chance the Capitals have. Lane Hudson gets his leg into the way of it, and that starts the transition play the other way. As Suzuki's looking, he tries to get this across to Caulfield, and he's just going to bounce on his own rebound as the bench is loving it. But it starts in the defensive zone. Hudson blocks it. Suzuki follows it up, and he's able to beat Logan Thompson, the Canadiens, with a hard-fought 3-2 win.
What a victory. As they celebrate, as they do after wins, back-to-back OT winners for Nick Suzuki. And how about Habs legend Jakub Tobiš, 3-0 to start his NHL career.
What a start for the young goaltender, and he gives this team a chance to win. It feels like they have confidence when he's in the net, and he's one of those goaltenders. He exudes confidence himself. We saw him come out and play some pucks. He's willing to challenge, be aggressive at the right times, not overly aggressive. That's a nice start for him as he starts his career 3-0, and the Montreal Canadiens pick up a much-needed 2 points as they continue to stay in the playoff hunt with a lot of teams jammed into that wild card hunt in the Eastern Conference.
Frankie, they're now a point back of the second wild card. On November the 9th, the Habs had lost 6 straight games and were 4-9-2. They have put together an incredible run against some outstanding teams. We talked about them beating Stanley Cup champions on this stretch. Well, guess what? The Capitals won just a few years back. Molson, 3 stars of the game.
An impressive performance for the Canadiens. Cole Caulfield's the 3rd star. He's got a 5-game goal streak he scored in this one. Jakub Tobiš picks up wins in his first 3 career NHL starts, and Nick Suzuki, overtime goals in back-to-back games, helps propel the Montreal Canadiens to a big win on the road, and a very impressive stretch of hockey for this team.
Montreal Canadiens have now won 9 of their last 11 games. They avoid the season sweep, their first win against Montreal this season, and this has been historically a tough building for them to win in, and they do. 3-2 in overtime. Nick Suzuki, back-to-back goals in OT. He is the hero as Suzuki, 13 goals on the season, continues to be more than a point-a-game player. Utah Hockey Club, that's the next game. We got it for you. Molson Canadiens Hockey on TSN. In the meantime, what a game here on this Friday night at Capital One Arena. Montreal takes it in overtime. Thank you for watching, and good night from Washington, D.C.
She says, "Who's with me?" Remember, I've won this.